We've got audio, we've got video, and we are ready. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, the entire LVE tribe, as well as all friends listening. On this so precious, radiant, a bit chilly, but the temperature is going up, day of Shabbat from California, the US of A, belonging to the 13th of Shevat, which is the 11th month of the year 5991 from creation, which soon will switch over to the 5992. This corresponds to the 4th of February of the year 2023. We shall study one more chapter of Revelation 17, part 16. We are in the Bethuwlah subject, part 8. Many more chapters will come on this series because I'm going to continue to add things to this series that's so marvelous, because it's a series that's incredibly prophetic for us. I'm going to use that word. Go ahead. Which is great. In this series, for all of those friends that listen to us for the first time or second time and are barely watching the LVE subjects, I advise you in a very marked way that you watch this series from chapter 1. It's not on YouTube. It's on our Odyssey platform, and it's also found in Rumble. The description of where those chapters of those channels are, it's in the description of the channel. And go ahead and watch from part 1 to the chapters which you haven't seen, or if you have, you can review them. Why? Because this series, it's prophetic, tremendously prophetic, because we did something special, which was a judgment. In part 4 of this series, I believe it was, if I can remember that well, part 4, we issued a sentence. The sentence is in Daniel chapter 7. And that was something historical that cannot be repeated. And that is why I decided to continue to add chapters in this series, because this series is one that is very special, very marvelous, in which we have noticed that in the prophecy there was a judgment to be issued, and someone had to do it, and that was the eternal truth. We shall continue to study other things. I have another prophecy that I am studying. It's difficult for me to present it. It's related with everything. It's a prophecy that no one understands, but I'm going to go ahead and add it in this series a little bit up ahead. But it is that prophecy. Aside from it being boring, supposedly very boring, amongst, given another hint, boring, no one understands. Very few people even touch it. Only the Adventists try to understand it. And we'll see it later. I will already tell you to see if you know what prophecy it is. You have no more hints because it's a boring one. It's a boring prophecy. It is a prophecy that only the Adventists say they understand. The rest of the Christian religions don't even touch it. A prophecy that Yeshua referred to Yeshua mentions, that's another hint. And I've presented it, but I've given it under the Adventist view and also under view of the moment, because we are always here to correct and corroborate everything that we teach. What we teach in 1 week is not written with fire on stone. From the moment that if we understand something else, other happenings take place, we have a greater true understanding, greater light on a point, because another point takes us to that, and so on and so forth. So then, of course, that prophecy, we have to study it again, because all the interpretations that we've given are not from the moment that we understand who is the Mashiach, and that no Mashiach that comes from heaven where Yahweh lives, but rather it's another understanding that we have, all things change. Okay, those are the clues that I'm going to give. It's prophecies that I'm going to give. It won't even be next week. We'll see when. But it'll be a part of this series. Maybe next week we'll start. I don't know. Either way, I've been studying it because there are things that we can't really comprehend. And even if I don't comprehend them well, I'm going to present it. That's the way I am. Sometimes when I present it with the little that I have, then it is better understood afterwards. And that is what's marvelous. Someone wrote to me, not of the eternal truth, but rather a person that I didn't even know. But he told me, Christian, you had a flat earth video that I really loved. I saw it some years ago and I can't find it now. I said, no, the thing is that they took our YouTube channel, but it's in Odyssey. But I went to Odyssey and it wasn't there, and I had not uploaded right because it was Torah. I didn't even remember what series it was, Torah 23. And what's marvelous is that I said, I'm going to upload it. I couldn't remember that I had presented it in a Yom Kippur. I hadn't the least idea. I didn't know what series it was on. And we presented in Yom Kippur of the year 2015. I found it to be something hallucinating, spectacular, that we receive this information that's so sacred and so vital and important to understand the rest of the things, to understand the lies of Babylon. And in that time, 2015, I didn't watch the video again. I'm sure that I don't even know what I'm saying, basically, but there we did not understand that Yahweh was one. So then if I say about the Father and the Son, you should understand. And if I mention the devil, that the devil's the enemy, know how to understand that. So then there are many things, and all the rest that we've learned, of course, it is very far back. And back in 2015, it's been 8 years ago that we talked about flat earth. And we've already adopted completely the new form, the real form of the earth, which is flat. How is it exactly? We don't know, but we know it's flat. So then that took place 8 years ago. Then many came along, many ministries. Years later, right? We used to not talk about this last year or the next year. We talked about this back in 2015 when there were so little people talking about this, precisely when Edo was taken off also. Because in the time that I published the video, I barely see for the first time a little video of Edu. And that was coming up, which I loved. He was growing, like, also as a commentator. He had to go through a whole experience, and then he became, what I see, Edu Landucci is the best defender of the flat earth, by far, more than the Americans, more than anyone. And the second that are after this are the Barea brothers, which, in my point of view, they are masters at this. Ido and the Barea brothers, neither of them have what we understand. What we understand of Elohim, that doesn't matter. What unites us is the being rebellious against the system, to be rebellious against lies. And if certain things they don't really understand from what we worship, later they will understand it. They enter into the group completely that says, oh, I call the people that knew me not, and they'll end up saying Yahweh is mine Elohim. So then, taking that out, they have opened the eyes to millions of people, thousands, tens of thousands of how the earth is, that we're in a lying system. That's why I really thank them, both Iru, as the brethren Barea, as well as all those who talk about flat earth. We've issued this video, but of course we later understood certain little details more about that. But I believe that it's a very good video, based with a biblical base, to understand that the earth is flat. And it was in a Yom Kippur. So then Yahweh has decided that on that date that's so important, like Yom Kippur, it always be a purification that's important. And certain subjects that are so crucial, if we understand in a Yom Kippur the flat earth, if we understood in a Yom Kippur the new Germanic medicine, then really that is what gave us first it helped us open our minds, and the other was to understand all the things that would come afterwards. For example, what took place in 2019 with the cup of the wine, and also the lies, the direct ones of those who are in power, those who are in the heaven of power. Then what came was the Son of Man, and that really made us capable. We started soft. We also said, okay, we have the Son of Man title, but in the measure that it was advancing in the subject, the scripture started to be opened in order to know who it really is the Son of Man, who really is the Messiah that the world is waiting for. In other words, the Messiah which the world is equivocally waiting for, which it's thinking that it's the same one as the one from 2,000 years ago. That's what we understood who the Messiah really is. I was listening to, this was yesterday precisely, subject, a program of Christians, and they were talking about Daniel chapter 7, and they were precisely talking about how marvelous is our Elohim, who is an ancient of days, who's sitting on a throne with fiery wheels. We ironically, and with our humor, said it is an old man on a wheelchair. So what's he saying is that he's not going to do a thing. He's not going to do absolutely anything. Quote unquote, he is handicapped in a wheelchair, quote unquote, and the sentencing and everything is done by a jury. And this group of Christians, they continue to advance in the prophecy of Daniel chapter 7. And then they said, but of course, Trinitarian. And then it says, how strange, they say, but how great that in the end of it all, the one that receives the kingdom is Jesus also. It's Jesus also because it says that the Son of Man receives it, that is brought in the clouds of heaven to the Ancient of Days. But then it says that the saints, it says that are we, that don't understand the thing, that the saints, we're going to receive the kingdom, and they conclude that all the saints are all the redeemed. So then they're all kings, and then there's no one to reign over because they're all kings. So then one says, there's something out of place here. So they're all kings upon whom? Upon the animals. And aside from that, it says that the Son of Man is the king. So then they explained, it's difficult to understand this point, but God is the king, Jesus is the king, and his subjugates are kings. It's strange, right? The subject, a bit strange, but they noted that there was something out of place. How is it that one people receives, but to top it off, it says that they're so confused that it says that the people of the saints are kings, and it's an eternal kingdom, and they're going to rule over the nations, over the tribes and tongues, over the peoples. Those could not say who they were, because if all the redeemed are kings, then there's no more nations, peoples, and tribes and nations. Who are they? There's something that's incompatible there. And it says the Trinity, which says that they'll reign. The Father is king, the Son is king, and the Holy Spirit is king. The redeemed are kings. The whole world is king. And then the nations, they didn't even mention those, because who are they? It says they're all in hell. Burning. Wow, brutal. Absolutely brutal when the scriptures are not understood. But I did notice something. There was something strange there. That a people is the kings for life. It's a kingdom for life. That is what I noticed. And it's incredible that if they were to look for a little more of the truth coming out of the Christian box, they would look for it a little more. They would notice that that people is the one that judged Babylon. And they said that the holy saints judged. Where does it say that it was angels? Nowhere does it say that angels judged anything, in fact. And if they had related it with Revelation 24, where it says that the judges are men, that would have understood a lot more everything that the prophecy is actually. But it's not for everyone, it's not for them exactly. And I don't think they are the kings, not even the guests. Well, tell the truth, I don't know. Tell the truth, I don't know, but It'll depend on many, many things. Very well, without any further ado, I invite you always to watch this series from the beginning because it'll continue to advance. Let us begin with a word of prayer. Beloved Yeshua, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because you have given us a marvelous light to understand the prophecies, to understand the prophetic times, to understand things that we now see as easy to understand, but in the reach of all those who have the Bible do not understand it and explain it wrong. But you have showed us the path, the truth, and actually we are waiting for the moment that soon it'll take place. All this we thank you for. We are waiting for you, and we hope that this year be the indicated year in your precious name, Yeshua. Alleluia. The Lord has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Victor Manuel Polanco Peguero, Colombia; Rosy Gabriela Herrera Perdomo, Colombia; Eduardo Bertinet Garrao, Argentina; Abel Espinal Berroa, the Dominican Republic; Sofia Alejandra Miranda Aguilera, El Salvador; Gilbert Lenin Jimenez Ramirez, Colombia; David Macedo Santos, Brazil; Francis Gobel Scott, Costa Rica; Daniel Alejandro Herrera, Colombia; Ainara Rebecca Salas Sanz, Costa Rica; Jessica Paola Lopez de la Cruz, Guatemala; Sariel Jared Aranda Castro, Chile; Lisette Moya, Venezuela. To every one of you, a great big hug on our behalf. Many birthdays, many blessings. Hoping that it's the last one you have under this Babylonian system. And I remind you, and we continue celebrating the 14 years of LVE. Because it's an entire year of celebration. We hope that precisely it's the year of the Jubilee. And we're still celebrating the 14 years that we've had as a ministry, the Eternal Truth. Well, I've got a box of gifts, and it's a very special one because it's been given to us by Guillermo, Sonia, Gabriel, Edgardo, and Giselle Heyer. A great big hug to every one of you, and I'll read this precious little card. It's a very happy Christmas and a very prosperous new year 2023. Christian, Leslie, Angelina, and Brian, by means of this card, we send lots of our love to you, and we appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the gifts on behalf of all of us. In the Heyer family, we are very thankful that you have opened our eyes, and due to all the effort and the passion that you put into us learning, I think it's effort, the effort that we learn the truth and that we be free of all deceit. Every message is of great esteem, invaluable, and of great importance to every one of us. We hope that this year Yahweh gives the seven spirits to his bride, that we can do justice and that we can reign together upon this flat earth. A great big hug for you four Argentum friends. We'll see you soon. That are only Elohim and husband, Yahweh Sabaoth, bless you greatly. Many thanks, and I'll show you the gifts. There's some boxing gloves here, 3 pairs, 2 pairs for men to practice boxing. That way we start practicing a little bit of boxing, 3 pairs. 2 are for Brian, and 1 for whomever. Well, 1 for Brian, 1 for me, and 1 it's for women. This is a boxing bag that you have to fill up. Sand would be too heavy, just old rags and maybe a little bit of sand in the middle that you can hang it up, and it's got all the hardware that we needed to hang it up, that we can use. The gloves, spectacular. This was for Brian. For Angelina, we've got 2 little things, 2 toys, or rather 2 figurines of Thor, but this is a feminine Thor, mighty Thor. It's a feminine Thor, spectacular. It'd be great to have someone like this in our army. It's a feminine Thor, and we've got Captain Marvel. It's like Captain America, but woman. So we got Captain America version woman and Thor version woman. Almost, I'm gonna say a gift. It's too vulgar, but of course, since it's Thor and it's a woman, we could say Clither. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Clither, and it's just a joke. It's just don't get upset because that word has that in it. But this is a feminine Thor, and this one, I mean, I can't I can't help it with my good humor of jokes. And this is Captain America, Miss Captain America. Very well. This is for Angelina. And for me, I got a spectacular thermos. It's precious. A lot better than those that are glass ones to drink mate. But of course, you open it like this, like that to drink mate. You put your hand like this and you pour it like this. And when you don't use it, you can shut it. It's hard because it's new. And this types of thermos can withstand, it says 20 hours hot and cold, 36 hours. Spectacular. It's got the Argentum flag, the Argentinian flag. It says Argentina. The limited version, spectacular. And they also sent me some bombichas, which are the artifact that you use to drink mate with for the collection. And it's always good to rotate them and cleanse them because they can get used. Two of them, spectacular. And for Leslie, a special perfume, which is Carolina Herrera 212 Sexy. I'll show it to you how it is. It's an exquisite, very feminine perfume. It looks like this. It's got two little balls. It's one same perfume. You can take it from one side or the other. Two spectacular ones. It smells. I want to wear a little bit. Oh, it's very feminine, very spectacular. It's spectacular. So then, many thanks for this perfume of Carolina Herrera. That is all. Many thanks. They got here perfect. They got here very well. Thanks for the little card. Hey, your lineage to every one of you. Many thanks. Perfect. We've got the presence of Eddie here just to bother you, annoy those that don't like him. I think Robledo gave me this, if I remember correctly. I don't. This is Eddie, the Egyptian Eddie. It's satanic, yeah, very satanic. Eddie, that is like Pharaoh. He's like Pharaoh, the Egyptian Pharaoh. Wow, interesting. The Egyptian Pharaoh. There's a pyramid there. It's Illuminati. Well, the pyramid, we believe in the pyramid. We believe that it's the pyramidal power of Elohim. But of course, there's a difference between Elohim and his bride, and then all the rest. But it's a power that is in the form of a pyramid. It'll never be a power as the world has it here, that it's a power through voting, which is called democracy. But it actually, well, we give crassy, which is the same thing, the power of the demons, which are actually people in wickedness, but people are the wickedness. So then here we've got very satanic, very satanic. If it bothers you, don't look at it too much. But it'll be here complaining, where is the Elohim of justice? So we'll place it right here, very visible, this pyramid. And Pharaoh, he is sick and tired. He's sick and tired that they manipulated him. He says, you manipulated me last time, so then let your people go, but you manipulated me so much that you ended up destroying the army, everything, because I was doing not my will, but yours, your will, and God hardened the heart of Pharaoh. That's why Pharaoh is complaining. He says, that's it, it's over. It is time for you to redeem us all, even the Egyptians, Very, very well. If you're not of the eternal truth, you will not understand anything of what I'm saying, and you're going to think it's horrible, and maybe this is not for you. But I'll invite you to open up your mind, and it'll be softening up little by little, and you'll be understanding that Satan does not exist, that he does not have an antagonist of Yahweh. They all work for Yahweh because he is creating everything. He created the beasts of the water. He created the beast of the earth. Very well. I'd like to remind you once again, since like I think of doing so every Shabbat, that we've got a free service for people of the eternal truth and people that may not be of the eternal truth, but who would want to have a new Germanic medicine NMG consult with Angelina. Angelina's consult, she's always available. Now, I've just added in the description of the video, it says Facebook of Angelina. Below in this description of this video of the previous ones, you can get in touch with Angelina if you have any type of problem that you already know, some sort of conflict without resolving that you have a problem with, and with just talking about it, pretty much the half of your solution is there. And if you are able to understand the problem that you've got and you put it into practice, you start to understand, because within us is the problem, the control. It's within us. It's not through special things and made up things, but it's in us. Whatever happens here in heaven is reflected down on earth. We are a reflection of what happens in heaven. Just as above, so below. So, when the problem comes below, we've got to look above to solve it above, and it is solved below. And we offer freely the service of the eternal truth of this type of consults. And they are expensive consults, but we have it in a very free service to everyone that listens to us, whether you are of the eternal truth or not. That doesn't matter, but that you're willing to see the things from a different point of view, and maybe even you see the things so different in a different point of view that you'll understand the message of the eternal truth. So then you already know Angelina's consult. It is now in the description of the video. It says Facebook, so that you can get in touch with her very well. And she's already over the age of 21, so she's an adult. No one can say anything. She already got 21. She's 21 years old. That she was her birthday some time ago. During this week with Leslie, we'll be in how many years that we've been married? How many did you say? What did you say? How many? No, wait. That's how old we are, but... Oh, 32, very well. 32 years married. We will be celebrating 32 years married. We can, she does not get confused. She thought it was a different question. So then we'll have 32 years married this Friday. 32 years married since we formed Ekhad. The copper weddings, like the serpents, or copper or bronze, whatever, same thing. Copper or bronze, same thing. So then we are enjoying and already celebrating that our anniversary is drawing near. Along with you, we shall celebrate it next Shabbat, but it'll be Friday. Very well. It is incredible. I'm gonna, not a propaganda really, but something that was great. Whether I have differences or not, I really appreciate, just like I appreciate the work of Edu and all the rest, I do appreciate the job of the fifth column, the quinta columna, even though I have differences with them, and their spirit that is relentless spirit to show the the people that there's something in the scene of the cows, the scene of the vacuum cleaners. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, it could be. I mean, at first I thought it was weird that there's a product like that, but then after seeing it so many times under the microscope and all the rest, I believe that they are right in that aspect. And yesterday, I think it was. You can see this in Odyssey. Look it up in Odyssey. If nobody knows where Odyssey is, look it up in Odyssey and put the fifth column on there, the quinta columna, and watch. I like the one that was yesterday that he uploaded, where Ricardo talks about very, very strongly about that we've got to disobey, well, so as to not have any problems to the beast. You have to disobey the beast directly, because as the beast, they have done a program which is the cup of the wine to pacify the earth. You understand my terminology? Then the rules are no good anymore. It's a very strong calling to a revolution per se. And I find that great because it is what we've been studying in Revelation 12. Rise up, kids. Rise up, boys. You have to do your part. You have to do your part. You have to come a great revolution in this world. And I find that fantastic. He also shows under a microscope, because he shows a whole bunch of almost all the programs. But under the microscope, he shows the substances there are, and also a microtechnology that's incredible, that if I hadn't seen it, I would not believe it. Some time ago, I would not believe it. That humans was capable of doing things that was so tiny, but well made, so as to get transmissions and antennas and be kind of like you can become a telephone yourself, per se. I can't believe it. It is difficult for me to believe it, but as it turns out, these people that are marked with the mark of the beast, they emit a signal, and they emit a signal that they can see it on a cell phone. Those that are marked, they emit a sign. And not just that. When they emit the sign, the beast can know where they are. Not just where they are. Whenever they want, they can call you. And that's where you get what you called, I don't want to use those words. It's like a piece for the individual, just a sudden one. Just all of a sudden, they can retire, per se. So then, they are pacified. When the beast, who has the control remote, because if you use these things, and then you introduce these things, you can become a little toy that's remote control. They have the remote control, and you're the little toy. They know where you are at, and when they want, they said you can stop there a little bit, and you can lay down. You lay down to take a little nappy. It's a nappy time. Excuse me. It's nappy time. And that's it. It's over. You get peace. You get mental peace, peace of mind. You get rid of all the DHSs that you may have. Everything. I mean, they take you out of the game. You're playing, and the referee gives you a red card. They touch a button. They press a button. That's it. You're out of the game. The technology is impressive, rather. It's wow. Absolutely wow. For some moments, because I always meditate what we've said, what we understand, what the mark of the beast is. But there are people, there's something that really does not, I don't want to confuse you, okay? Careful. I'm thinking out loud. There's a little point that really does not match up all the way. There are people that have gotten the mark but are repentant. They are repentant. They'd like to take it out, and they they're against the system because the system marked them. that makes me think that in one way or another, they could be a part of the third, the people that noticed that that does not belong there. I don't know. I'm just. Um, I digress. I mean, I would not want to close it up like I've done in other points. Close a definite door to those that are marked. Those that are marked that are repentant per se. What are you doing with somebody that is marked but repents? You can have him rest for 1,000 years. No, he's repenting. I, as a judge, can tell him perfectly well. If I have any special power to absorb him, I absolve him. I absolve him of the mark. You understand? It bothers me a little bit. So then, I do not want. I am very sure that this is the mark of the beast, but I think it's the mark of the beast for those who do not repent of having it. Do you know how this works, give or take? Well, I don't know. The Adventists have always said that the mark of the beast was the worship on Sunday, and that the mark of God was Saturday. So then, what if I came from Catholicism? Am I already marked? No, 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 because it's not that time. You're not marked yet. So then you kept Sunday all you want, but when you find out about Saturday, you change. So then all the marks of Sunday, they weren't any good, you see. But it's when the time, the special time, the one that keeps Sunday is fucked. That's how the Adventists think. I, as a judge with mercy, complete mercy, somebody comes and tells me, look, I fell in the deceit, and I uh, applied this to me, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I detest it. In fact, I like what you're saying. What do you have to say to me? It'd be very, very stupid for me to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you marked?" Then anda pa allá, bobo. Like Messi said, go, keep walking, keep walking, walk. The ones that I tell them to walk is those that want to. You like that? Anda pa allá, bobo. It's like 666. You like 66.6%. Keep walking. But if they say, no, I'm willing to fight against the dragon, to fight against the beast, in fact, because now I understand what they put inside me, then I want that person in my team. Why am I going to tell them, keep walking, idiot? And, you understand what I'm saying? So at that point, I'm going to leave it in suspense. I will not say it from here on out, because I understand it so. And even as a judge of Babylon, or against Babylon, as a judge of Elohim against Babylon, I'm going to say that those who notice that they are wrong, but that they notice that, then it is a time to exercise mercy. I cannot call them as marked people. The other point is, which that they discovered, and they show you in videos, Canadian doctor discovered that colloidal gold, something that we use. Can you give me that, Brian? It's a red. I presented this to you in DAR. Do you remember what I'm saying? Then we stopped taking it, but they said it was the product of life. It's very expensive, very expensive. This is the one that I've bought, and this is what I have left. You see, it's a red product, precious red. It's 20 parts per million, 20 ppm. And actually, I didn't want to buy it anymore because I forgot to take it, and it's very expensive. But according to what I've read, it's a marvelous product. It's a marvelous product because it activates your brain. Has many things. Brain does. Colloidal gold. We knew it not because of now, but from 2012 in DAR, we knew what colloidal gold was. All those that were back in that time. You know what I'm talking about. It's not that I just discovered it and that they opened my eyes. No, we knew about it. Now, a Canadian doctor within the whole sample of the product, and you can see it filled with nanotechnology. He added one of these drops. The nanotechnology it was undone. He didn't undo the other material. But what is the nanotechnology? The circuit, and it would seems to be like a plaque. He disintegrated it. So Ricardo didn't have colloidal gold. So he said, I'll order it. And I think he ordered it from Italy, I believe. And he was all week there waiting for colloidal silver to get there. And he added it yesterday in one of his samples. And just like that, the other material that floats, it didn't do that. I saw it. Maybe with time, it does something. But all the garbage there, it would seem like the War of the Worlds, also a collection of what is this here doing? A collection of silver chains. If you watch the video, and I invite you to watch the video of the fifth column that was done yesterday, it would seem to be all types of silver chains. I was telling Leslie, oh, how pretty are these jewels and chains. Then later, those chains are all going all over your being, and the body tries to attach them into, or attach itself to it, and then it just gets all tangled up. And I don't even mention that. So then, it's like if you throw all your jewels into your garbage disposal, it might get all clogged up there, and you might have a little problem. That's just what happens in the temple. Same thing. That's why this is called the abomination in the temple. It is the abomination that maketh desolate, because it's in the temple. This is the only temple. So then if I put into it things that should not be there, but of course the temple is kind of like, I would put pigs and false gods, but it's in the physical form. In that physical form, what it does is that it takes me to peace, to mental peace. It takes me to mental peace, complete and total. It takes me to be taken out of the team. So then it is the abomination that make it desolate. And when Ricardo added a little drop, the whole nanotechnology disappeared. We're still pending to see if it works with the other jewels. If it helps with that, it'd be great. Apparently it doesn't. In all the videos that I watched, the chains are untouched, and the nanotechnology does disappear very well. So then it's impressive what is happening with everything. So then we are in a point where we cannot exit. We're in a point where the people are gaining pressure, and there's about to be a revolution amongst them. We understand that, prophetically speaking, that will take place. Very well. We're almost getting to 1,000 in YouTube. We're 993. I saw it this morning. Subscribers in the new account, because the other one we lost it. I don't want them to take this one away. We're at 993. We haven't gotten to 1,000 yet, but well, we're going there little by little. Oh yeah, let's see exactly. Let us see immediately how many likes we've got, and we've got 233 likes. If you have forgotten to give us a like, please give us a like, because sometimes you start to watch and you forget to give us a like. And always remember to comment these videos, because it's good for you, it's good for those who read, it's good for everyone. It is registered that you're part of this show. Start to give and that you and integrate yourself. We are one, and we're gonna act as one, and we're gonna just like we vote in a unique way, we're gonna turn this system around, and we are one. So then give your comments, integrate yourself, because very soon we're gonna be together. Very soon this will be fulfilled, everything that we've studied. Many thanks for your likes. They're going up. They should get at least to the quantity of people that are watching 284, and we've got 260. It's going up. Many thanks. Remember to comment. Very well. Shemah Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh, one is. This is fundamental to understand all the rest. It is the key that opens the secrets, the most well-kept secrets of the scripture. If you don't have this secret, you will not understand any additional secret, because this is the key to understand. It's the key to understand that Yahweh is one alone, and that the one that comes is Yahweh, and there's no longer a Christ from heaven, but Christ is his children. All the things that we understand it thanks to this key, Yahweh Ekhad. And all the world will understand it one day, that there's only one Elohim, Yahweh, the Creator, and that he has a bride. Yahweh, with that name, can unite him and her. John 8:31-32. Then Yeshua said unto the Jews that had believed on him, if ye remain in my word, ye shall truly be my disciples, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. This phrase is one of the most used phrases by the whole world, whether they're Christians, believe in Jesus or not. They use this truth, that this phrase, that the truth makes you free. It makes you free at all levels, not just religious levels, but physical levels. We're talking at a slavery level. We're talking science level, which wants to teach you or impose by the government. The truth makes you free, but the thing is that the people think they have the truth, and they don't have it. So then, and the truth is one alone. It is one alone, the truth is, and the truth is Elohim, and the first truth is that Yahweh is one alone. So then, from those truths on is when all the other truths start to develop. The disciples didn't understand it. They did not understand even the most principal of truths. That is why they died murdered. There's no turn of the page. If you don't understand, then you have to die a violent death to be purified. We've studied that in Revelation chapter 12, because they comprehended not the truth. They comprehended whatever they wanted. They comprehended what they could, but they had to give their lives due to that truth they had, which was a truth that was incomplete, and it was an unreal truth. But they did not understand that Yahweh was one alone. They believed that Yeshua was the Son, a God sent, a Messiah, but not Yahweh himself. So then I agree that they have to go through what they had to go through for their purification. Proverbs 25:2 says, it is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word, yet it is the honor of the king, or glory, same word, or glory of the king is to search out the word. Elohim, within his plan, hides what is written in the word. It's hidden. But only to his kings, those who will reign. Who are the kings? Those who are going to reign over the earth. Those are the kings. It's not the kings of the past. It's not King Solomon, but of course not. Even if he wrote it himself, it's not King Solomon. It's not King David. It's the kings that will reign for life. Those kings, they reign because Yahweh gives them the kingdom. Those kings, which are the Messiah. Those kings, which are the bride of Yahweh. Those kings are the only ones that can be allowed to enter into the word. And if they can enter into the word, the rest cannot. For the rest, it is concealed. This is a plan that's absolutely brilliant, like one can say, from another part of Elohim. How is it that they give you a book that it makes you believe that it's saying something, but it's saying something else? That's what's incredible. It says something, you read it, you accept it, but actually it's something else that it's saying. It's something else. How brilliantly can you think that way with that of Elohim only? And with what brilliancy can you enter into that? With those that Yahweh considers to be judges, in order for them to be able to understand a message that is not written, a message that is hidden within that which is written. Yeshua said, the word is no good. My words, which was the interpretation, are spirit and our life. My words are spirit and our life. The letter of the law, the letter of the Tanakh, the letter of the disciples is no good because the real message is not in a superficial level, just like that. None whatsoever. It is not at a superficial level. All the messages are hidden. They're hidden. So then when I read and I take the Bible as to be literal, I'm in trouble because I'm not a king. I have to understand the Bible at a hidden language level, at a hidden occult language, and that only I have to be a king to understand it. If I'm not a king, I'm going to think that I'm giving, understanding a hidden message. Also, as the Jews is done by them, they have the pardes, which are the 4 levels of interpretation of the Torah. Literal level, the other level, another level, and another level. 4 levels until you get to the mystical level. And they think that they have the secrets, and it isn't so. They could think that they have the secrets. They feel content with that, but it's not an adequate interpretation. It is a made-up interpretation for the only reason that they are not kings. They're not kings. The kings are those who will have the adequate interpretation. So they have 4, 5, or 100 levels of interpretation. Same thing, same result. Not the true one, not the real one.
No, I just wanted to give you the news that the 5th column, La Quinta Columna, just subscribed to our channel.
Wow, I can't believe it. Oh, the 5th column just subscribed to our channel. I can't believe it. Wow.
We are giving him the greatest welcome.
Oh, greetings.
We didn't know if he listened to us.
If it's Ricardo, a great big hug to you. And if it's not Ricardo, then send him. Let him know if you have communication with him. A great big hug. And I congratulate him for his marvelous unfolding, for his great big balls that he has in heaven, that he says, and for him to not stop cussing. Don't replace the word prostitute than bitch. You say bitch. They are sons of bitches. That's how you say it. And Ricardo, it's kind of like he starts to say those things when he's upset, or else he doesn't say it. He goes to the soft words. No, you gotta fuck them up with words. If they don't like, they can fuck off. Just like that. If they don't like it, then they can fuck off. They can go shit somewhere else, and they can go back to the cunt of their mother, just like that. They have to be born again. Send them back to the bitch that bore them. That's how we talk, and that's how the kings talk. Very well. Spectacular. If it's Ricardo, a great big hug. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. And if it's not Ricardo, and if you are in touch with him, give him a message of our welcoming. Listens to Dr. Sevillano also as well. Jeremiah 16:19-21. Yahweh, my refuge and my fortress, my refuge in the day of tribulation, precisely in the day of tribulation which we are. And to thee shall come the peoples, all of them, from the ends of the earth, and they shall say, only lies, precisely what Babylon is, what the system is, only lies. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. What was the inheritance of the fathers? Lies. Science is lies, religion is lies, churches are absolute lies. The government is a lie, and all the rest is a lie. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Vanity to which there is no avail. If it is man that makes himself the gods, then they're not gods. That's why, behold, I shall give you, make it known unto you. This time I will show you the strength of mine arm, and ye shall know. And ye shall know something that you don't know, because you only inherited lies, and you shall know that my name is Yahweh. The name of Yahweh is one alone. Yahweh is one alone, and he has a group of kings that will reign with justice forever. That's great. Amos 13:6-8, Jerusalem 2001. Does the horn or the shofar sound in a city without the people being scared? Does a disgrace, an evil, come upon a city? if Yahweh is not the one that provoked it. But of course, no such thing exists as a Satan, no such thing as an antagonist, but it's the same creator. There's a time that's limited, and in that limited time we go from darkness to light. From darkness to light. Yahweh is not fighting against anyone, he's creating. So then we had to know what wickedness is and injustice, so that within that surrounding a group of people, not everyone, would fight against the very creation of Yahweh per se and overcome. Where's the name Israel come? Israel says that was Jacob. It says, wow, the one who fought with men and with men and with God, or with God and with men, and he overcame not just with men but with God also, because the one that rules this nefarious system is God. He rules all men, and it'll come to a time and where there's going to be polarized 1/3 against 2/3. It is clear that 2/3 have already gotten the mark, and maybe more than 2/3, but the scripture says that 1/3 will be saved. 1/3 will be saved. It's not that 2/3 will be lost. 1/3 will live for 1,000 years on the earth, like rebuilding everything, like a new earth, a system that is unthinkable to us, of a spectacular justice, rather magnificent. And the other one, 2/3, will be resting. For them, they're not even going to notice. One could be dead one day, or could be dead for 10,000 years, and they don't even know. There's no difference, none whatsoever, because their mind could be forgotten, because their memory is placed into oblivion. So then, one that is dead. He doesn't know the time, how much time he's been dead. So it's not a punishment, those 1,000 years. It's not that he does it due to punishment, those 1,000 years. Not due to that is that the 66.6% of the earth will be killed as a punishment. No, it's not a punishment. That is not the punishment, because there will no longer be a punishment. What there's going to be is going to be a learning curve, what the Bible calls, because it's covered up, the hell and the eternal flames and the lake of fire. All that is precisely to purify. It is not any more than just a symbolical lake. It's not going to be fire, but there's going to be a learning curve. Since they didn't learn it here in the small time that Yahweh gave us, they'll have to learn it in a different stage, so that they can integrate this into the society that'll be 1,000 years ahead, and they will enjoy it for 1,000 years with the technology of Elohim, with the technology that men will create, with a just world, with a world of progress that's unthinkable to us, because every time that man wants to progress, the system comes to stop you. But it is part of the plan of Elohim, because if Elohim didn't do that, then why do we have a new world? It'd be this world, make this new. Thing is that the plan of Elohim is that we live one time of life subjugated in this injustice, and to see who's good, and to see who fights against the system. That is all that Elohim expects. It's a teaching. It is a teaching all the humans will learn, because they are, as even the most wicked ones, if you give them something to play with, he's going to break them, and he's not going to be able to do anything, because if you give him the materials, he's going to make something beautiful. So then, look at those wicked, the worst ones, the rapists, the murderers, those who rule us. Look at them like kids that haven't learned. They haven't learned. Those who rule over this, look at them as little kids that haven't learned. They haven't learned. Those who do justice and are wise, they can go up. The rest are children. The others are grown-ups, and the others don't know what to do. So then they act bad, like a child would do, that he doesn't know how to do things well, and he has to grow up. It means that they will all be saved, that they will all be good. But they have to learn. If they don't learn here, they will learn in what is called the lake of fire, hell, that is so feared. We don't want to go to hell, we want to learn here. We want to graduate here. We want to live the millennium here, and that when they come, they can be 1,000 years behind, and that they're going to have to learn in a different situation. That is all that the Bible teaches, and everyone will say, so then God is just. He didn't punish anyone with eternal death. He didn't punish anyone in eternal flames. I was listening these same preachers that were talking to Daniel 7 that I told you about, and it says, oh, and we have to be of that people, of the saints, because otherwise we'll get, look at the stupid logic that the Christians use. I mean, they're stupid, they're sons of bitches. Two things. Because they want to condemn even their own mother because she didn't accept Jesus. And they're sons of bitches because they say that they are good and they really are evil. So then, the fundamental secret here is that there is no eternal punishment. There is a correction and a rehabilitation. But we don't want that. We want to be corrected here, not afterwards. We want to reign for 1,000 years, and not that we come from behind. That is the secret of the scripture and the secret of creation, and it's so magnificent, so marvelous. I mean, rather marvelous, absolutely marvelous for those who can understand it. So then it says, does a disgrace, the word is ra, the word is evil, does an evil come upon a city without it having been Yahweh who produced it? So then, if evil that is called the cup of wine 19 through the antennae of television, through that which they would already add in our substances, in the blood through, how do I say this in order for them not to block me, the fight against the flu, against the cold, in a material form that they put in you, this whole product came. Of course, the people was going to go and start to be radio modulated like a little toy, just like a little toy. Completely, absolutely. And so then, absolutely, it is clear that that evil, who produces it, I have to tell it to you because you're never going to love Yahweh. Yahweh produces that. Yahweh does. Because it says, can an evil come to a city or to the entire world? And it hasn't been Yahweh who produced it, but it's not that Yahweh's evil. It's that this is the end of the world. So then he sets up a test for the people to decide, what do you want? What do you want? You want this? Take it. I gave you enough time before so that you wouldn't believe in these things, so that you start to get rid of this. How many more tests and proof do you need? But since this is what you want, and this is what you want, okay, it's kind of like a father with the son that says, Dad, can I put my hand in the fire? Father says, no. Dad, can I put my hand in the fire? No. Because you're going to get burnt. Come on, Dad, can I put my hand in the fire? No, because you'll get burnt. But when he's already, sick of it, he's like, Dad, can I put my hand there? His dad says, okay, go ahead. What if I get burned? Then fuck you. Get fucked. Then get fucked. That's how you'll learn. So then, before this were to come, Yahweh demonstrated to whomever he wanted to see, because he that is blind, there's no help for him. It cannot be a citizen of the 7th millennium. He cannot be. It'll be a citizen of the 8th millennium, not of the 7th millennium. He does not enter into a Shabbat. He does not enter into rest. Those 1,000 years, that will be spectacular. It doesn't enter there. It enters later. Like an idiot, because he was like an ox, a dumbass. So then Yahweh, literally, it's written in the Bible, it says, go fuck yourself. It's written. You don't read it, but he says it. It says it right there. Should I read it? Give or take, it says, this is the interpretation. Of course, we can go to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says, and then, number 8, I could read it all, but we'll read from number 8. Then he shall be manifested. There will be a manifestation. A manifestation means that it is made visible. Then shall be revealed that wicked. And Christians say, that wicked is Satan. No, it's not Satan. It is wickedness itself, that due to the people not understanding, we still have human beings, the kids, the children, the bad children. Then in red ones, the red children, and the evil ones, and the children that crossed the pedestrians, like Salvucci says, which I like what he says. Salvucci says the pedestrians of the Red Sea. The Red Sea pedestrians that crossed the Red Sea on foot. Anyone uses their own terms and language. Just do not mention them. We call them the refried beans and the beans, which is the same thing. The refried beans, the beans. He calls them the pedestrians of the Red Sea. The whole time he's saying the Red Sea pedestrians, the red children. Then it says, and because already, well, not that one. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. That Lord that shall kill with the spirit of his mouth is not the Lord Yahweh. It is the other Lord, the Lord Messiah, with Michael, which we already know who it is, because it's a group. They are judges who, in the opportune time, they come. The Lord will kill with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Wicked, who is the wicked one, whose coming is after the working of Satan, by whom all the works of iniquity and wickedness that we see of the system that was placed and imposed by the cup of wine 2019. It says who it is or by whose work. Exactly, in whose Satan, Yahweh. Satan is Yahweh. Satan is the serpent of old. Satan is the one that came and was placed on a cross. Because the image of Yeshua on a cross is the same image that Moses raised in the desert. It was a serpent of copper, which the true commandment said, thou shalt not make an image of anything. But that image, God made it valid because it was his own image. It was his own image, a serpent of copper. And the one who would look upon it, or bronze, whichever, and the one who would look upon it would be healed. Looking into the serpent, they'd be healed. In other words, the serpent would heal you. How is it that the serpent would heal you? Yeshua says, as Moses raised the serpent in the desert that would heal you, in the same way, the Son of Man must be raised. In the words, he says, I am the serpent. He's telling to you right there. Christians don't understand because they're stupid idiots. They don't understand the thing. Oh, the serpent is Satan. But our Lord Jesus, no. The serpent that spoke to Eve and Adam is the same serpent of bronze, same Yeshua, Yahweh, the Creator. He is the serpent. There's no other serpent, of course. So then it says, whose problem is this? It says that whose coming is by the work of Satan. Exactly. Satan. With great power and signs and lying wonders. You remember how Satan in the Tanakh, it says to an angel, a deceiving angel of his, because Christians say, God cannot lie. God cannot lie. God does whatever the fuck he wants, and he tells it to you in your face. So then the lying spirit says, hey, Yahweh, let me go, send me, I'll deceive him. And who are you going to deceive? One from Babylon? No, it was the king of Israel. The king of Israel himself, not just anyone, the king of the chosen people. The king of the pedestrians of the Red Sea. It was the king of the beans, the refried beans. That was the bean. That was the king, and deceiving angel of Yahweh. What do you mean Yahweh has deceiving angels? What Christian would say. Yes, because you are so deceived by Yahweh himself because you're idiots. But taking that out, the deceiving angel says, Lord, Yahweh. It says, what Yahweh? Because Yahweh says, how do we deceive the king of Israel, Ahab? The king of Israel, Ahab, how do we deceive him? It says, well, one says one thing, one says, I. What is that lying spirit? What does he want? He was already a lying spirit. The Bible says, lying spirit sent by Yahweh. But it's so clear, the scripture is, it says, what you want, you lying spirit? He says, let me go, I'll deceive him. We'll take him to the battlefield and we kill him. Yahweh says, but wouldn't that be lying? Yeah, well, that's my name. So Yahweh says, you know what, you're right. He says, go ahead and lie, and we shall win. Didn't he say that phrase? He said another phrase, right? He said, through lies we shall triumph. Exactly, it's a phrase from Yahweh. How is Yahweh going to say through lying we shall triumph? Well, I mean, it is insane that you quote the text right here. Gabriel said, I shall go out and be a spirit of lies in the mouths of all the prophets. And he said, it shall be induced and gain it. And in some versions it says, of course, lie to him and we shall triumph. He says, but Goebel said that, who was the minister of propaganda or the communications of what's his face? I don't want to say his name. Well, I'll say how should I say this? Mr. Hillel. We need a T there or an R. Hillel. How interesting for Elohim, right? I've explained that already. I digress, but it's interesting. Hillel the First is there. Hillel the First was a great wise man. Do you know how you call prince in wisdom? How do you call prince in Hebrew? I've explained this to you already. You should remember. How do you say prince in Hebrew? And I'm not going to say anything else until you tell me, because I've taught you this before. So then I hope somebody in the chat, please tell me without looking on Google, or else it's not good. Tell me, because I've taught this to you. Let's see if somebody can remember. Let's see if somebody remembers. No, nothing. None of that. No, sir. Prince in Hebrew. How do you say it? Prince in Hebrew. And a wise prince, by the way. How do you say it? In Hebrew. I've taught this to you. Wow. I mean, you guys. Prince in Hebrew. How do you say it? No one remembers. Am I gonna have to say it? Oh, how shameful! Oh, shame on you! I'll give a couple more seconds without looking it up on Google, without searching. How do you say prince in Hebrew? Which precisely this Hillel, the first, was one of that word. I want to say. Well, no one knows. Well, you're lost. You're all held back a grade. You're all held back a grade entirely. It's called Nasi. I've taught this to you. It's just that it's pronounced Nasi, but it's written the same way, Nasi. I've taught it to you. How long? Let's say if you remember. Did somebody remember that I taught it to you more than once? You're idiots. It says the problem is the people. The problem is the people. I've taught this to you, and it's already been years ago. You call it Nasi in Hebrew speaking. Nasi. So then we've got Hillel the First, the Nasi, because he's the prince, the wise man. Nasi the First. I mean, Hillel the First Nasi, he was the one that made the compilation of the Talmud, which is what was called the first written oral Torah. So then they got the Halalah and all the rest, or however you call it. Hulili. I could care less how the fuck they pronounce it. But the guy that did the compilation of the Talmud, then the first, I mean, it's interesting, listen well. Hillel the First, the Nasi, did what is called the Talmud, written down, and that the wise men wrote down. Now Hillel the Second, the Nasi also, who made the calendar. So then we've got, in the Jewish religion, we have the Talmud, the base. We have the calendar that they use, which is not a calendar based on the moon, but an algorithm that, give or take, gets on the mark, but it's a hit or miss. He did it. So then Hillel, the Nasi, the first, gave them the Talmud, the Jewish religion. And then Hillel, the second, the Nasi, gave them the calendar that they apply the religion. And so then Hillel, the third, the Nasi, gave them the country. Did you understand? Did you understand what I just say? What did you understand? Who gave us the country? Hillel, Hitler. Doesn't say the third, but remember the third Reich, same thing, Hillel or Hitler of the Third Reich. Nazi, is he not Nazi? But of course, I mean, you're idiots. The people are idiots, but it's so clear in history. Nazi, in other words, Hillel, the first, the Nasi, gave him the Talmud. Hillel the second, the Nasi, gave him the calendar. Oh, God, dog shit. And Hitler the third, the Nasi, gave him the country. Because thanks to what he did, he gave him a country. Poor things! I could talk a lot about this, but I don't want to block it. Poor things were victims. 6 million. How incredible. 6 million. Wow. It's impressive. I would have given them my house also, tell you the truth. It was not in that time, but I was born in 69 when we got to the moon, of course. When we got to the moon, that's where I was born. So then, I would give him my house even. I mean, you know what it is for them to murder 6 billion? I mean, it's terrible. It is a brutal tragedy. I mean, it makes my heart hurt of the brutality. There's lots of meat to bake. Lots of meat, lots of sacrifice. So much more that it was called the Holocaust. A Holocaust is a burnt offering unto Elohim. So then 6 million that took place, it took place for them to say, and where could we live, the poor folk that are left? Oh, we inherited the land. Hillel the first gave him the Talmud. Hillel the second gave him the calendar. Hillel the third gave him the land. Very clear. That you should know this by memory. For them is, they don't say it, but for them, Hitler the third is a saint. I've heard it being said, I don't have the video, but I heard it been said by a rabbi that said, Hitler, I'll say it like, Hitler the third, the Nazi, was the greatest blessing unto Israel. An applause. And of course, an applause for what the guy said. I mean, marvelous. An applause for you. It's true. It is the greatest blessing. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But we follow. Move on. What were we in? Okay, we were here in Satan. Satan says, the wicked one whose coming is by the work of Satan with all power. It doesn't say, it says all power, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish. They're going to perish forever? No, but the millennium, 66.6%. Why? But for those who perish because they received not, there's the reason of why Satan makes them perish. There's the reason. Because they received not the love of the truth that they might be saved. That is so clear. So then the Creator says, I presented to you everything. I presented to you. You like the maximum injustice? Well, then you can go with injustice and you'll be deceived. You don't like that injustice? Then I will separate you. That is all, absolutely everything. Why do they miss out on the millennium? Because they received not the love of the truth to be saved. And for this cause, God, who sends God? Who said in the other text that sends it? Satan. Christians, the Christians read this, and they don't understand that it says God sends them, Satan sends them. Who the fuck sends it? It says, no. They wish that it says that God allows, because that's the word, the preferred word for them. God allows. No, you idiot Christian. God does not allow. God sends, because God is Satan, and with one purpose. That's so marvelous. It says, this is the reason God sends. For this cause God shall send them a strong delusion. Who sends a strong delusion? The same story that we read in the Tanakh. God again sends them a delusion. He sent them an angel, a deceiving angel to deceive Ahab and all the prophets, and now he sends them a strong delusion to deceive all the world. That's in the hand of the power. That's why the beast has so much power, because they have power of God. The beast exercises the power of God. That's why no one can do denouncements. That's why the fifth column put over 600 denounces, and they don't even listen to them. The judges are with their hands tied. Why? Because God ties them. They can't turn it around because they shouldn't turn it around. That's what's phenomenal. They should not turn it around until the opportune time gets here. But for now, the population is still being tested. The population continues in the same test. It says, That is the reason, that is the cause that God shall send them a strong delusion that they shall believe the lie. Wow, who sends it? God. What for? That they believe the lie. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but that pleasure in righteousness, but had pleasure in the system of pharmakeia. They found pleasure in the religion of the white robe. They found pleasure in seeing things that do not exist. They found pleasure in everything that the news gave them. They found pleasure in their science. So then they eat one dose, 3 doses, whatever that are necessary. What do you have? Microtechnology, graphene, all that shit. Take it, take it, take it. Why? Why? Because they found pleasure in unrighteousness. So then take it. So then take it. Drink up by the work of Satan. That is the reason. I mean, it's so marvelous. They'll be destroyed forever. No, no, not in the very least. But they won't enjoy the seventh millennium. Why? Because they are not apt to live in the seventh millennium. They'll be resurrected later, and then they're going to say, wow, we were such idiots. There's no more dumbasses other than us. There's no other idiot out there than us. We believed everything. What is the truth? This is the truth. Wow. And to top it off, that we were deceived. And to top it off, that we are evil. And to top it off, that we found pleasure in injustice. You resurrected us. And you teach us. I mean, where should we kiss you? We'll kiss your feet every day. Thank you. Thank you, boys. Thank you. The muchachos. We give you thanks for you resurrecting us, and you gave us eternal life. That's the way they'll sing. The muchachos they saw in the fifth millennium said, muchachos, muchachos, thank you. Why? Because we're idiots. Because we allowed ourselves to be marked. We found pleasure in unrighteousness, but you showed us the truth. And now we know Yahweh only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. That's what they'll say. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Now we understand it all. Thank you, muchachos. That's how they'll say it. That's how it'll be. And that is phenomenal. What will take place? Absolutely magnificent. Very well, moving on with the text because we deviated a bit. It says, does an evil come upon a city if Yahweh has not provoked it? No. Nothing does the Lord Yahweh do unless he reveals his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So then everything that Yahweh is going to do, first he tells it to the prophets, his people understand it, and then he asks, does the lion roar? Who shall not shake? Does the Lord Yahweh speak? Who shall not prophesy? And Yahweh makes everyone prophesy. And under my point of view, without any doubt, Yahweh made the Argentinian selection prophesy. Because it say, if the lion roars, who shall not fear? In other words, when the lion roars, they all shake. But it says, when the Lord Yahweh speaks, who shall not prophesy? Yahweh utilizes not just his designed prophets, but actually he makes anything prophesy whatever he wants. It says the stones speak whatever he wants. He makes them prophesy. So then, what we lived with the Argentinian selection, the final with Messi, which represents the Messiah, it has nothing to do with the player, that they're all marked. Doesn't have anything. It's a prophecy that Yahweh, for those who understand, playing against France, which represents the beast. And a game that causes you to have a heart attack. Anyone could have won, but it's written that the beast would lose. The beast will lose, and that is a prophecy that Yahweh makes prophesy whomever he wants, not just the prophets, but whomever. The text says it. It says, does Yahweh speaks, the Lord, who will not prophesy? He's saying it when Yahweh speaks. The least that you would expect would prophesy. That's what it says. Malachi 2:17, with that date that is so impressive, 2:17, a date that when it's 2:17 of the year 5992, in other words, this will take place on the day, the 5th of June at sunset. In other words, it's the 5th and the 6th of June per se, 5th and 6th of June. It'll be precisely the 217, and it'll be precisely the end of the 1335 days. Marvelous. Malachi 2:17 says, Ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, yet ye say, Wherein have we wearied him? When ye say, Everyone that doeth evil is good in the sight of Yahweh, and he delighteth him, of course, if he's Satan. Of course he gives power to the dragon. Of course he gives power that no one can fight against the beast. Who can stand against the beast? No one. Has received power. Who can give him power? Yahweh is the only one that can give power. Give him power that no one can touch him. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's inconceivable. How can it be that we're seeing things that are so clear there, and we can take it to judgment and to a sentencing to a jury, but not just so that they stop this. We should take it to get money aside from stopping it. Judgment, $1 million cases. I've read the news that Pfeiffer, another walker of the Red Sea, the whole group says that they already did. They made $100 billion with their products, their last products. Although I think it's not about the money. It's not about the money. They have all the money. If they have 100 billion more, if they have a million and more, a billion, it's just not about that. That's not the point. It's not about money. It's about the work of Yahweh. So then it is by the work of Yahweh. Remember that everything that's happening in this world is by work of Yahweh, because it's his own creation he's creating. He said he created the world in 6 days, and that's 6,000 years. In fact, in every day of the creation, it says what exactly he would do, but he tells you what he would do. We're the only ministry per se. I mean, I don't even know what word to use. We're the only lineage that understands this, that every day of creation, Yahweh said, I'll do this, and he did so. But in turn, that day is equivalent to 1,000 years. In 1,000 years, he did exactly what he would do. Reduced, but he said it. On the 4th day, he made the sun, the moon, and the stars to come out. Let's go ahead and say it. Well, on the 4th day is when Yeshua appeared on earth. He made him to illuminate the earth because it was just desolation, the earth, until he came. Who's Yeshua? Yahweh, the only one there is. He came. He was dressed with human flesh. He says, Here am I. Here am I. And I have to die. And the people understand, oh, he came to die for my sins. No, he came to die to be a part of the human race forever, to eliminate his laws that he had made, and also to understand a little bit more about his creation. I just explained it to you just like that, just to understand his creation, so that they can overcome their problems that they said, no, I had already overcome, it doesn't matter. He had to come to die due to all the sacrifices, all the shit, because of that piece of shit religion that's called Judaism that he invented himself. The owner of Judaism comes and says, you know what, boys, my religion's so bad, so stupid, so retarded, crucify me. I mean, that's right, crucify me. And he says, since you're not going to want to crucify me, I will blind you, I will deafen you, and I will stupefy you, that you cannot see me, and that you do not accept me. So then unto his own he came, and his own did not receive him. But why didn't they receive him? Because he spoke to them in parables, so that they do not understand, that they do not see, that they do not understand. They had to crucify him. There was no turn of the page. And to top it off, saying prophetic words, that your blood fall upon us and upon our children. Of course, exactly. That blood would splash everyone. The blood of the Creator had to be poured out. Why? One, because for everything that I've said. Another one, to eliminate the law. And another one, because he was such a son of a bitch. Aside from that, he's the greatest murderer of them all. So then, how does all this end with his death? With his death, the whole law ends, all the things ends, and the spirit of the law is left. The spirit of the law is left, and the spirit of the law is marvelous. I am studying the commandments in a different way. I'm not going to tell you now. But the whole spirit of the letter of the law is there. What is not left is the law itself and the condemnation, of course. He came on the fourth day. On the fifth day, what happened? What happens in creation on the fifth day? Well, it says that the monsters of the water appear on the fifth day, the monster of the sea. And what is the monster of the sea? What he saw precisely in Revelation chapter 13. I was standing on the sand of the sea, and I saw come up out of the sea a beast. I saw come up out of the sea a beast. When was that beast created? On the fifth day. Who is that beast? And of course, the leadership, the political leadership in religion of the Red Sea pawns. But of course, the beast is not Rome. The beast is not Rome. My most esteemed idiot Christian, my beloved idiot, dumbass Adventist is not Rome. It's not Rome. You're completely seen outside. You're pissing outside of the bowl. You have this huge bowl like this, and you turn around and you piss somewhere else. It's not Rome, you son of a bitch. It's not Rome. It is clear who was created on the fifth day. Rome existed on the fourth day. Rome existed on the fourth day, and the beast was created on the fifth day. No matter, it's impressive. The beast of the water was created on the fifth day. And it's not Rome. It is the power that came through the Talmud from the hand of Hillel the first, the Nazi. I hope you never forget that again. I hope you never forget that again. He made the recapitulation of the halala or hilili or the bitch that bore him, and that is how the oral law was created, but he was the one in charge of getting it all together. That is the beast. That is the beast. That is the beast that reigns in the world. That is why I talked about Pfizer. That's why I can talk about all the companies that are pawns of the Red Sea. Those companies are the sons of the King David, sons of bitches of King David. Those are it. And that was created when? On the fifth day. On the fifth day. When the Talmud written. On the fifth day, the Talmud was written. So then, once you see it, it's marvelous. Sixth day. What was born on the sixth day? The first thing that he did was the beasts that crawl and the beast of the earth. It was the beast of the earth, Revelation 13:11. Once again, it says, I saw come up out of the earth a beast. But it's kind of like he was relating the creation. I saw come up out of the water the beast. Who is that earth? He came up out of the earth a beast. What day does that happen? The sixth day. The sixth day. I mean, I'll read it to you just in case. Revelation chapter 13:11. Revelation chapter 13:11. It says, then I saw another beast that came up out of the earth. One came up out of the sea. The fourth day, one comes up out of the earth. Fifth day. What beast? We always have to look where? World powers. We're not going to look for a beast and we say that is Madagascar. Or that is Guatemala. No. Or that it's El Salvador. Or that it's, I don't know, just whatever world power. No, let's look for a beast that has worldwide dominion. That has been born on the sixth day. Not in the fifth one, but in the sixth one. Who could that be? Who dominates the entire world? It's called the US of A, which was founded on the sixth day. That is the beast that dominates the whole world. So then, we have two beasts in the water, which is the pawns of the Red Sea, the pedestrians, and we have the US of A. Are they friends? It says it right here. They lick each other. It says they're friends. The US of A and Israel, they're friends. Here it says precisely, then I saw another beast that went up out of the earth and had two horns like unto those of a lamb. Looks like a lamb, a little lamb, but speaks like a dragon and exercises all the authority of the first beast. Who was that? Israel, the first beast, in the presence of her. Or it's in the exercises the power that Israel had, but exercises not in the presence of hers. But of course, it makes for the earth and those that dwell therein worship Israel. In other words, the first beast. So then this is where the command came from the UN in the year 1948 that the state of Israel be founded, or 48, November 47, that the state of Israel be founded. Where did the US of A come from, of the organization of the UN? With the headquarters here in the US, here's where the command comes out from. The beast of the earth says, worship that earth. Thanks to Hillel the third, the Nazi. Now we have earth, and it comes out from here. It is signed from here that they have an earth. Not just the earth, they give them the weapons. We fight all their wars, all the soldiers from this country, they go and fight the wars of the pedestrians. They're a bunch of fags. They always send other armies. They have a problem with someone, and there goes the beast that protects her. That is why it says, makes for the earth and those that dwell therein worship the first beast. That's what it does. The whole entire Christianity, the entire sons of bitches, they bless Israel. Entirely, they say bless Israel, because they're idiots. They read the text superficially, but they don't understand. So we have to bless Israel, and we have to cooperate with Israel. So then here they talk about billions of dollars annually to help the dog shit land and to back up that dog shit system. Who does it? The first beast, the second beast that helps the first one and causes the earth and the dwellers therein to worship the first beast, whose lethal wound was healed. It had a lethal wound and was healed. Well, I'll tell it to you immediately. It was in the year 1948, in which Babylon heals its wound. They receive the earth, they receive all the support of the second beast. Everybody worships her, whether you like it or not. Even if you hate her, you have to worship her and cooperate, and then afterwards, it has its 70th birthday from 1948 to 2018. It's 70 years. At 70 years, that is when the prophecy says that they have to fall precisely when Jeremiah 25, when Babylon is on its 25th birthday. No, pardon me, 70 years. When Babylon has its 70th birthday, which is Israel, then make them drink the cup. It says, but they're not going to want to drink it. It says, give it to everyone. And to everyone, even if they say no, make them drink it. You have to do it. It's your obligations. And some came, which is the cup of wine, precisely for 2019, as the prophecy says, that is astonishingly correct. The prophetic story of the two beasts, the prophetic time, and the cup of wine. It's even called the cup of wine. It's called the same thing. How's that bug called, which does not exist? Nobody can see it. But that little bug, how is it that they call it? I have to say it. In Hebrew, it's called, do you remember? Tsar. And the word tsar in Hebrew means tribulation. The Tsarkov 2 came. I have to mention it as the tribulation number 2. Which was number 1? Number 1 was the flood. Which is number 2? Number 2 is this one. 2, total destructions on earth. It's all prophesied. So then in the exact time, at the appropriate time after the 70 years, is where we have the cup of wine 19 with the great tribulation. Everything exact. The cup, they have to drink it. Many doses of it. Its lethal wound was healed. Also does great signs, inasmuch that it makes fire come down from heaven before men. Exactly all the signs that the second beast does, which is the US of A. The greatest signs that it did, remember, it is the atomic bombs, the ones that do not exist. Those are signs. It makes fire come down from heaven. Made everybody believe that a bomb so great exists that they can destroy, and everybody's so terrified for those bombs. Bring them over, drop them. They don't do anything. If to fight with Russia, they're gonna have to fight with Russia with whatever missiles they have, because those little bombs don't help. Sorry, but they don't help. The people are terrified due to that. But there are signs. that they were allowed to do. It's a science that they were allowed to do, that even it makes nuclear bombs fall down upon the earth, something that does not exist before the man. Of course, they showed us the videos. And they said when an atomic bomb shows up, there's at least from 5,000 to 1,000 years that the earth cannot be used. I ask you, where they took place in Japan, was there any time where they uninhabited that place? They're ridiculous. You know why the people are deceived? Because they deserve it. They deserve it. Nobody asked themselves, hey, hold on, here in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, did not they drop 2 atomic bombs? And the people are like, yeah, 2 bombs were dropped there. And it was brutal. You want to see the videos? They show you the videos, the huge bomb. The question is, the huge mushroom, and how is it that they can be inhabited and I can visit it there and take pictures now? Didn't they say that radiation will be left there for 500,000 years? Well, you got to be an idiot, since you cannot add up one upon the other and not hit it. If you were able to unite your 2 fingers together, you'd see the truth that it doesn't exist, that they deceived you your entire life. So then you could see that such a thing does not exist. What they show you on the TV, that the large mushrooms do not exist, and no threat happens in the air except for the ones that you see of your beloved cell phone. But then the little bugs, if you knew that they don't exist, they do not exist. Just like that, they do not exist. No, that's a possible threat. They don't exist. It's just like that. They don't exist. What does exist are poisons that they could contaminate you, but they can inject them and you can drink them up. That all that exists. But what the television shows you does not exist. Those are just images. And you didn't learn in the 2nd commandment, thou shalt not have images before me. They're all images that the beast represents, and you fall in love with it. Oh, yeah, they fall in love. They do make their religions. So then what else does this do? It deceives with those signs. Another one that the 2nd beast did, which is the 2nd one that was allowed for this type of signs, is to get to the moon. Never in their fucking life did a man ever set foot anything like the moon. We cannot even go out or get close to anything. But it's so ridiculous, everything that you can't even tell. If you don't see it, it's because you're just an idiot. And you deserve many doses. If you think that man got to the moon, and I would say you do deserve many doses, but many doses. Many until you get to the peace. Why? Because you love the lies. It's so stupid. Just by thinking about it, without anybody telling you anything, your brain, as a human being that is semi-intelligent, just like that semi-intelligent, you'd have to say, in the year 1969, when Christian and Leslie were born, glorious year. I mean, you can leave that aside. But the 20th of July of the year 1969, men got to the moon. Now, we've gone past more than 50 years and we cannot go back. Why would that be? I'm going to look it up. So then you look it up, and what you get is one from the NASA that says, the thing is that we lost the technology. We lost it completely. We lost everything, all the technology of the year 69. What the fuck? There's no other word. What a son of a bitch are people. We lost that piece of shit technology, and now, but we lost that technology that if we were to recuperate it, they say we would go back in a nanosecond. In a nanosecond, this idiot says. Yeah, that message that is designed by Yahweh does not open up your eyes to say, what a lying son of a bitch. They're really such liars. If you continue to believe that, and then you add to that Tesla sent a car to Mars, and it's on its way, it's lost, maybe it exploded because it's electric. Electric cars are dog shit. Another one of the lies. Just taking that out. I'm not even going to go into that, but if your mind does not discover those lies that are so little that Yahweh places so that you can reflect upon it, so that not that you live your life like an idiot, like an ass, only in the system, then you deserve it. You deserve it. Anything that they put on you, you deserve it. Just like that, you deserve it. You think you're good, you're a dog shit idiot. You are a follower of the system. And it says, because you did not love the truth, then Yahweh sends you a deceitful power, so that you love the lies, since you believe in lies, so that you can get lost, the millennium. That is the secret. See, here it's about who deserves to live. If you think that men got to the moon, then go on the fifth and on the sixth one, and upon all the ones they give you, don't stop, don't ever stop, because we don't want idiots here. We want people that are woke. The bombs, these signs, the beast were allowed to do, to throw nuclear bombs that do not exist, to get to the moon. Never, ever, ever. And all this stupid shit, even about getting to Mars with the robots. I mean, those are the signs. And it says, and it deceives the inhabitants of the earth with the signs. What does it do with the inhabitants of the earth? It deceives them. So then, are those signs true? No, they're false. They're false. But understand, open your mind. Who's the second beast? The US of A. The signs that US of A does are fake. What is the greatest sign? That nuclear bombs, do they exist? They're fake. They're fake. They get to the moon, they're fake. It's all fake. The approval of these things, these doses right there, we're here, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Because it says, and it deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of the miracles which he hath power to do in the sight of the beast, president of Israel, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which hath the wound by a sword and did live. Of course, they made him an image, they made him the earth, they made it everything to that little town, that little people, that little nation. And he hath power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Of course, God power unto life unto the image of the beast. It's what you don't see, you believe. They got alive. Everything what became alive. The cup of wine became alive. So inasmuch as the people, they protect themselves with a mouth guard or something else. They are terrified of that. It became alive in many lineage and all the rest that it hasn't, blah, blah, blah. So then it says that it makes people be killed who don't worship it. But of course, then it would make that all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right hand means, in Hebrew, the right arm. It doesn't mean hand, it says arm, right arm. Not a hand, an arm, right arm. Which actually doesn't simply mean the arm, but actually it means that due to the strength, because you want to get something, you want to work, you want to keep a job, you don't want to lose something, so then you accept this mark. It's in the arm, because with the arm is what we work with. So then due to convenience of something, then you accept the mark. That is one of the types. And the other one is, it says, and the other one, that they would place a mark in the right arm or on the forehead. What does it mean on forehead? Well, literally in the forehead, it enters also the testing. But of course, the testing, they put it well up onto your brain. And the new classes that are coming that are like that, you inhale. Just imagine that they're already out. Oh yeah, in some countries they're applying it. And I believe that they are already on their way. Spain wants to already issue them. Those that are inhaled on the forehead, but not just that, it's also the testing that they would put on your forehead. That's what's physical, but that's not the physical. What's real, the real thing is that the mind is that it is your heaven. From here you think. And so then if you think that that is what is good for you, that is what you have to do, then you have the mark on your beast. One, because it's convenient on the arm. Okay, I want to do this, I want to go out, I want to eat, I want to travel, I want to work. Okay. The other is because I want it, I need it, I cannot live with this, and they should all have it. You see the difference, right? The difference, a brutal difference. Some would not have worn it, but oh well, here's the arm. Go ahead. No, the thing is that I want it. Let's see when it'll come. I want it because the only thing that can protect me. and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Count it. What is his name of the man, and his number is 600, 666. Exactly 66.6% of the population belongs to the beast, and there are. Very well. Where are we here? We are here in Malachi 2:17. It says, whomever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he findeth pleasure, or else where is the Eloheinu of justice? That's why Eddie is here. Eddie's here with us in the form of Pharaoh, in satanic form. Eddie's here with the pyramid and with the serpent. Marvelously spectacular. One of the best, not the best in my point of view, but one of the best albums of Iron Maiden. Power Slave. Impressive. All of them. An astonishing album, but here it is. He is in Where is the Elohim of Justice? Where is the Elohim of Justice? We are complaining. We're all complaining. We believe sincerely that the prophetic times have been fulfilled, and they're being fulfilled now. When we enter into the Jubilee, which is next year, in other words, not next year in the calendar of Yahweh, but of course in the calendar or 91, it'll be within 2 months approximately, because we're in Shevat. Then we've got Adar, which will be Adar the first per se, and this year it has two due to the sun and the moon, and it's calculated not by Hillel the second, but rather the exact calculation of the sun and moon that I've explained many times already. This year it'll have precisely 13 months. So then we'll have Adar, month the 12th, Adar the 2nd, month the 13th, and when Adar the 2nd ends, then we enter in the new year 5992, and then we enter into the year of the Jubilee, and then in that same day is when 1260 days are up. I mean, what? Absolutely, it leaves your mouth open, what Yahweh does. And we're waiting for that. Very well. Where are we here? I can't believe that I've been talking to you for over 2 hours. 2 hours and barely, but you should say, what you need is something to understand. I'm talking to the new people that write to me and say, where the fuck was I that I couldn't find you before? Let's use a better one. If they say, where the fuck were you? I was in YouTube. Where the fuck were you that you haven't seen me before, you idiot? Now, you're welcome if you want to see. Exactly. You're no longer an idiot, but you were an idiot before for not finding me in time. Very well. That's what religion does. Religion does not exist. I don't like the word religion, but all the religion of the world is dog shit. It's all dog shit. The Catholic Church, the Christian Church, Jewish Church, the Muslim Church, it's all an actual dog shit. You have to really understand things clearly what Elohim has done with this creation, and you can only find the truth here. Everyone would say it, but I tell you the truth is in the eternal truth. With that name, with the eternal truth, that's where the truth is. That is where you're going to open up your eyes, that the earth is flat, that the pharmakeia is the final deceit of the earth, like the scripture says, through Babylon, that there is no Satan, that there is no Trinity, and that the kings of the earth will be those who understand this truth, and they will guide a 1/3 that they can comprehend. They can learn to be purified, and that they can live in the millennium that's coming. That is all the truth of the Bible, nothing else. The whole rest of the religions are all fear, all lies, all threats. They worship a God that does not exist. They believe that God has sanctity invented by them that does not exist. They couldn't imagine that God can even lie. It's impossible for them. It's impossible for them. Even when Yeshua says, hey, your father, Whose father, that of Israel, is a liar from the beginning. What? Yeah, it's his father of lies. He's the only father we have. He's the father of lies. Who created Israel? Yahweh. Who's the father of lies? Who? But not just a liar, but a murderer. A murderer from the beginning. A murderer. What? Yes, of course. Yahweh is a murderer. Completely. Number one. Just like that. Number one. He'll be number one in everything. A murderer. No one sees it. You can calculate billions of people that he killed. That he killed. A murderer. I mean, not to mention, is number one. But that's fine because it's part of his creation. If they give you some time to live here, you learn. If you don't learn here, you'll learn somewhere else. But that murderer, that liar, came to earth. He became a man. He lived as a man, and he died. And he left. And his children come back. And he comes back as a king. As a king in Yahweh. Only Yahweh with his bride, which are his children, which are the Messiah. It is very clear, everything. Don't you worry about anything. And we begin with Revelation chapter 12. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to read it to you again. Whether you don't like it or not, I'm sorry. We'll start with Bethuwlah chapter 6. Forgive me, 8. Okay, I have to update my... It's chapter 8, Revelation 12, 1 through 17. I've explained this 1,000 times over. I only read it, and you can get the interpretation that you already understand. And there appeared in heaven a great sign, a woman dressed with the sun. She was dressed with the sun. In other words, the sun did not illuminate her, but she was dressed with the sun, with the moon below her feet, and upon her forehead a crown of 12 stars. Very well. I read to you the version 1969, but let's go to another version. I'm going to read all the chapters in the book of the people of God. There it is again, once again. And there appeared in heaven a great sign, a woman that was dressed with the sun, dressed with the moon below her feet, and a crown of 12 stars upon her forehead. And she was pregnant, and she would yell in pain of travail because she was going to give birth. And there appeared in heaven another sign, an enormous red dragon, like the fire, with 7 heads and 10 horns. And in every head he had a crown, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and he threw them upon the earth. And the dragon put himself before the woman that was so as to devour her man-child as soon as he was born. And the woman had a man-child, and that man-child is a symbol of what the woman is going to turn into and become. I've explained this millions of times. The woman had a man-child that should rule all the nations with an iron rod. That comes directly here. But the son was taken up unto heaven, into heaven, into heaven. What heaven? Where God lives? No, idiot. Unto the heaven of power. Elevated unto heaven in his throne. And the woman fled into the desert, where God had prepared unto her refuge, that there should be fed during 1260 days. And then there came a battle in heaven. Michael, who's Michael? The one that is like unto God. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And this one counterattacked with his angels. I mean, he gives them time to fight so that it's more of a fun fight. But they were overcome. But of course, it's already written. But they were overcome and kicked out of heaven. Where Yahweh was no idiot. No. Of heaven, where they are now. In power, the heaven of power. This Christian group said that God was to destroy his own heaven, to delete every memory of that rebellious angel that rebelled with 1/3 of the angels. And since that took place in heaven, God does not want to remember that anymore. I forgot to tell you that. I heard that yesterday. So then it says, since God does not want to remember that fight, that war, that he had to destroy his favorite angel, and to top it off, 1/3 of his angels fell. Well, what a disaster, that God. It says, then he destroys his heaven, make a new heaven, because he already wants to delete that memory, delete Lucifer. But hold on. I am Lucifer. You are Lucifer. Lucifer is the bearer of light. Any person that bears light on this earth is a Lucifer, the bearer of light. But the maximum expression of Lucifer, Yahweh has it. He's Lucifer. He tells you, I am the morning star. Why did they translate the way it should? I am Lucifer. No, it's but Christians say, no, what? No. Take that out. Take that out. In Latin it says I am Lucifer. That's why many years ago I was surprised that the Vatican was singing, and it says we are Lucifer, something like that in Latin. In the Vatican, and they would yell. And so what would they do? The Christians, terrified, see how Rome is the beast. They have songs unto Lucifer. No, you idiot Christian. They're quoting a text that precisely, it says Lucifer. In Latin, it says Lucifer. What the fuck are they going to say? They're singing, oh, let us all worship Lucifer. And the Christians say, wow, how satanic. They're the beasts. They're the evil ones. No, you're the evil ones, because you're an idiot and you don't know that Lucifer is the bearer of light. That is Yahweh. His children, Israel, was Lucifer. Israel, when it says, how art you fallen, O Lucifer? That phrase, which is only known by the eternal truth, no one else in the world, no one else. When you know something, because I don't even ask you, maybe you've forgotten this already. Today, I ashamed you with Nazi. I explained it to you so long ago. Okay. How art you fallen, O Lucifer? Now you understand the phrase even more. What is heaven? Power. Who had power? They had the power. They had the blessing, the grace of Elohim. They had his temple. They had, it says, and you were on the north side. Even the Jew says he's given a description of the temple of Jerusalem. But of course, absolutely. But the Christians see them said, oh, Lucifer, he lived in heaven, in the north side. And where God was in Jerusalem, per se. His presence was there. The north side is the temple, and Lucifer is Israel. And he was in power in the grace of God. He was going to be the bearer of light into the world. And what does God say? How art you fallen from your power, Israel? I gave you the temple. I gave you a message. And the truth is, you're more than a great bitch. That's what it says, the prostitute. How art you become a prostitute? It says, daughter of a bitch, Jerusalem, I gave you everything. You're dog shit. You were actual dog shit. That's what it says. He says it himself, not I. You like those members of the Egyptians that were bigger. You're such a whore, that not even you get many. You pay them for them to fuck you. That's what the Bible says. If you want to read it, it says it as just like that. It says it just like that. It says, and you don't just like the sex, the normal sex. No, you like that of the Egyptians. The Egyptians. Well, I'm not gonna say anything because I'll get in problems. But the Egyptians was a race that had a very huge cocks. I mean, the Bible says it because they have it like horses and they ejaculate like horses, just like that. The scripture says. The Christians don't read that because they get a heart attack. Says what? What'd he say? What? And then, how art you fallen of heaven, Israel? I even gave you the temple. I gave you a mountain and I made you a temple, and I allowed you to have a temple. I didn't make it, but I allowed you to have a temple. Yeshua comes later and says, you know what, I hereby your house is left desolate, but the apostles, the disciples of Yeshua, all of them idiots, all of them, all the sons of bitches, all 12, included the other son of a bitch called Paul of Tarsus, another son of a bitch. They'd go to the temple. How are they going to go to the temple? Because they were Judaizers. They were all Judaizers. Wow, what sons of bitches. They would go to the temple. Their master told me, your house is hereby left desolate. And so then before it was filled with the presence of Elohim. Now your house is left desolate. But of course, he would retire from the temple. What do his followers do? They go to the temple. It's kind of like if I were to teach you this, and my followers always go, they hear me when they can, or else they go to the Sabbath school, the Adventist church, or to Mass, or another gathering, but they listen to me, but they go back to their churches. That if I were, not if I were, I tell you, you go to your churches, you're not a part. I can't so it because I don't know. But if I knew it, no, fuck off. Go back to the bitch that bore you. You're either here or there. You're either here or there. You cannot be doctors for the truth and not understand what is the content of the things. It cannot. Your son. I denounce the doctors for the truth. Or do you not remember of any? You don't remember anything. If I said, if you don't understand that this does not exist, a doctor cannot come. Pardon me. With the holy men, I'm not gonna fuck with. No, I'm sorry with the word. They are the priests of the white robe, not those sons of bitches. The white robe bitches, priests. You cannot believe a word. How long did I tell you that? They're going to say, no, it's just that, it's this and that. No. The only acceptable of them is that such a thing does not exist. The only doctor that ever existed was Dr. Reiki Gearhammer. The rest, fuck off. Off with their head. And I'll say it again, but they were priests, what I was referring to. I was referring to the priest because today, there's other words that you cannot use. I was referring to the priest. No, please, no. It says, don't even think about it. I love. I was going to give a joke, but no, no, I'm not going to say with that joke. No, the guy is calling for people to be killed. No, not in the very least. But we denounce that those sons of bitches, you cannot believe anything. So then when they come with the priests for the truth, those sons of bitches are dog shit, complete dog shit, but you have to insult them, every one of those priests for the truth. So as to not say something else that's strong, you have to fuck them up and insult them forever. And spit on them. And those priests for the truth, what sons of bitches, they're worse than the system. Because some believe in them and they think that they're out of the system and they stick it elsewhere up your something else. That's what they do. You avoid one. It's like Yahweh says. When they flee from me, he says, you're going to flee from one and then you'll end up with the bear. And when you get rid of the bear, you'll fall with a serpent, and when you get rid of that, you're going to fall into the net. You cannot escape. Those sons of bitches of the priests for the truth, priests, white robe priests, I've said it from the very get-go when the Cup of Wine 2019 started. They're dog shit. Do you remember that I told you? Don't come at me with no priest. We don't even want to hear the priests. Unless they come with the truth. Since they don't come with the truth, they come with another truth with their messengers. I'm not going to mention anything. They live in other stupidities. Okay, what are we talking about here? Okay, we're in Revelation 12, right? I hope I haven't forgotten to finish a concept. So then we move on. So then it started. Okay, I was talking about Lucifer, of course. That's what I'm talking about. Lucifer is Elohim, God. Lucifer is Israel, but he fell. That Lucifer fell. How art you fallen from power, from your blessing, Israel? Now, who's the other Lucifer? We, Lucifer. So then the Christians say, careful with Lucifer. Yeah, careful with Lucifer, because Lucifer is within. And even Peter said, until Lucifer or the light of the morning is born in your hearts. It was never born in Peter. It had to be born at some point in time. It was born in a group that understood the truth. It was born Lucifer in our hearts. And what happened? We became Lucifer because we have the mind of Lucifer. Paul would say we have the mind of Christ. Christ in us is the hope of glory. Lucifer in us, the hope of glory. It's so spectacular. Absolutely magnificent. I remember that other day that I said, I want Lucifer in my heart. You were terrified. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And to say, I am Lucifer, that's even better. That's even better. So then it says, and then there was war in heaven, Michael, which is like unto him, and his angels fought against the dragon. And the same counterattacked with his angels, but he was overcome. Poor things, and they were kicked out from heaven. Out! And thus was the enormous dragon was precipitated, which is the system of today. The old serpent called devil and Satan, and the seducer of the entire world, was cast out upon the earth with all his angels. But of course, in this time it's not God, this Lucifer is not Elohim, but rather it is evil that he created as a part of creation. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And I heard a powerful voice that sounded in heaven. Salvation is here. Finally, salvation, power, in the kingdom of your God. And the sovereignty, here it comes, of his Messiah. And who the fuck is the Messiah? It is the Christ that came 2,000 years. No, it's a God. It's a God. There's no other truth. That's God. God came in person, didn't send his son. He enclosed it in a parable. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, that all who believed on him not perish but have eternal life. But before he said he was a serpent. What a liar. So then, and he told you everything that he spoke of was in parable. So then there's a God the Father sent the Son. No. There's a one sole God that sent himself. And since he didn't want to say, to conceal everything, I am Yahweh, he would not have been believed. He made up the story of the parable of the Father and the Son. Magnificent. But he solves it later. Says, someday I'll tell you the truth. But Lord, don't show us the Father. They said, I've been with you so long, you haven't seen the Father. He that has seen me has seen the Father. They didn't even understand. Not with that. He says, I and the Father are one. We're the same person. They didn't understand with that either. Said, okay. Everything that I talked to you about, spoke to you in parables. One day I'll tell you the truth about the Father. One day. They didn't understand it ever. That someday, there's only one Elohim. He came. So then who is that Messiah that comes? They're the children of Elohim. It's not one person, it's a group. The Messiah is not a being. This time it's a group. This is in concealment. It's a title of the people of the children of Elohim, the supreme saints. These are the sons of man. Another title, it's the bride. The bride is only one bride. No, it's a group. One could say the bride. We're part of the bride. So then we could say we're part of the Messiah. The Messiah are we. There's no turn of the page. The Messiah are we. We're the judges that have judged Babylon. That is the Messiah. And also those who unite unto him. They'll be a part of the bride. They'll be all those who unite will be a part, and still time to unite themselves unto the Messiah. When the time comes, the Messiah, also said in another word, Michael, will destroy Babylon. But we're already advancing in the prophecy. Salvation has arrived in the power and the kingdom of our Elohim, the sovereignty of his Messiah. For he has been precipitated from his highness, from his power, the accuser of our brethren, the one that day and night would accuse them before, right in the face of our God. But of course, it is not the accusation that you think about. It could be, it's all concealed. It is the harassment. They themselves have overcome him. Who overcame them? They themselves have overcome him. Everyone will have to defeat the beast, everyone, and it is the job of everyone, or else you do not deserve to live in the new millennium. Thanks to the blood of the Lamb, it's thanks to the balls of the Lamb, not the poured out blood. No, doesn't help you for shit. Not at all. Now, it is the blood of the Lamb that is called the Messiah, another title, the Lamb, that Lamb. That would seem like he had been slain, but it's not slain, and the blood is the balls that you have to fight against the system. And the testimony that they gave, the dead, they're going to have to die, that they gave of him because they despised their deaths up until death. They'll have to pass unto the death for purification. Then let heaven rejoice, and those who dwell therein. The little angels with their asses hanging out. No, talking about the heaven of power. Those who just went up unto power, the dragon will be there, but Michael or the Messiah will go up, or the sons of Elohim, the people of the holy saints, however you want to call it, it says, those, the bride of Yahweh rejoice, but woe unto you, the earth and sea, because the power of evil has come upon you with all wrath. Know it that he has but little time. The dragon, when they saw that he had little time, he went to persecute the woman. That will take place that had given birth to the man child, but the woman that is the man child, that became the man child, cannot touch her. But the woman received the two eagle's wings, but of course, that he could go to his refuge in the desert where she should be fed during 3.5 years. Those 3.5 years already ended. 2019, pardon me, 2018 to 2022. Those 1,260 days are fulfilled. And it's already, she's been protected of all the shit of the dragon, but of course. So then it says, where she had already been, that has to be a correction, where she had already been fed for 3.5 years and fattened. She had been fattened, but she receives the two eagle's wings. What is that? It is a power that we do not understand the magnitude thereof, but is the same power that took Israel from Egypt, because I've already read it precisely, that Yahweh brought them like in eagle's wings, that power that Moses had against Egypt, or Elohim himself, and it's a power that is somewhere else that's marvelous. Very well. That will happen. The serpent spew out of his mouth after the woman and attacked her. This is good, okay, this is good. In the prophecy that I tell you that we shall study, and I'm going to tell you which one it is, it's there. In another language, the woman spew after the woman like a river of water. In other words, sent people, armies, that they would draw her and kill her. But the earth, which is the third, came to help the woman open his mouth and swallowed up the river that the dragon had spewed. That army, the dragon was wroth against the woman, went to fight against the remnant, those who were left, against those who obey the commandments of Elohim, of God, the commandments of God, and they possess the testimony of Yeshua. The commandments of God are not the 10 commandments, but rather are those which understood the truth. And possibly so, this might be the 144,000 that add themselves later, once they understand what the eternal truth is. I've already explained it. I have nothing else to explain. Very well. Now we go to Isaiah 66. Isaiah chapter 66. 1 through 24. Which reads as follows. And the text of the invitation, did I miss it? The text of the invitation, this beautiful picture of the flat earth, which Angelina made for us, spectacular flat earth, precisely where the two serpents are, those cherubims, burning cherubims, the seraphims, pardon me. The Bible says that the seraphims are serpents, fiery serpents, which are a type of angels of Yahweh. I mean, that's good. I want one of those. Okay. Where the eternal shows precisely South America appears. How beautiful South America, what Argentina is, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, and the rest of the countries there, Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, and I forgot any of what is South American. The rest doesn't matter. The rest, they're kind of like, the rest doesn't matter. I mean, you don't even see the rest. You don't even see. I see South America there. Did I forget a country? It's very good. Chile, Argentina. Let's say them. Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Brazil. Then, by memory, Bolivia, Peru, Paraguay, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador. Am I missing one from South America? Another one? Well, if I'm missing another one, then I'm sorry. I should have mentioned it. Yeah, I did mention Paraguay. Don't tell me the things that I've already mentioned. How many times did I mention Paraguay, Michelangelo? Oh, you don't listen. I have to. Don't be sons of bitches. I did mention the twice Paraguay. I cannot be wrong because you got Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil. Listen, listen. Do not get ahead of me. Those two of the South. Wow, look at them. I know them by memory. Oh, I said that for you not to mention, for you not to mention. No, but of course, Paraguay, of course. Marvelous, Paraguay. It's all marvelous in South America. What a spectacular continent, and precisely it coincides with the eternal truth word. Like saying this is eternal truth. The whole continent is South American. How great is that? A very blessed land, South America. Very well. Oh yeah, I was missing that one. I don't know them. Not even the mother. Their mother knows them. Suriname, Guyana, and French Guinea. I was missing them, but they're no good. Suriname, Guyana, and French Guinea. There's some islands there. They're little islands, little places that are there. I know they're there, but whatever. They stole them from us. They belong to, I don't know, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, or whom, but they belong to one of them. Yeah. Do we name them again, once again? We'll mention everyone, all of South America, the way it should be called. LVE. Argentum LVE. It says in Brazil, with a beautiful flag. No, that it's a dog shit, stupid flag. Brazil, oh, what sounds like we should burn the Brazilian flag. They have a globe on there. Wow. Every Brazilian that is listening to me, do not ever use that dog shit, stupid flag. It's got a globe. It's got a globe, the Brazilian flag. Please. It's got a globe. You have to burn the globe and replace it with the sun. The Albi Celeste, verde, amarela, the green and yellow, completely globe head symbol, verde, amarela. I mean, nobody denounces. I have to denounce everything. I have to denounce things here. The flag of Brazil is an abomination, a globe head, Babylonian. It has a globe. What a stupid. Instead of, it's stupid. Aside from the fact, who ever thought about this? I mean, whoever thought to make a flag like that? I was looking it up this week. We looked it up with Leslie. What the fuck does it say? It represents the sphere of the earth. What sons of bitches? I mean, horrible, horrible. Apologize. Hey, Brazilians, apologize for what you've done. A flag like that. What an abomination. Cut it up. I hope I don't see any Brazilian flags because it's embarrassing. It's a globe head flag. A globe head flag. Wow. And to top it off, it has a very Masonic phrase that says, what's it say? I mean, I could care about the phrase. What the phrase say? Something about progress. Something about progress. Where they steal the cups, the World Cup, something like that. That it says, we shall steal the World Cups. Order and progress. Okay, that's good. What they said, order and progress. I mean, I agree with that. But the globe, no, please. If it had a flat earth, then I said, wow, Brazil is the greatest thing in the world. But no, kids, absolutely not. You're wrong. You're completely wrong right there. You went bet every Brazilian in the eternal truth. Please replace that piece of shit flag with an Argentinian flag. You cannot have a dog shit flag. Exactly. Oh, wow. Oh, Trinidad and Tobago. No, Trinidad and Tobago is not of South America. Who said that? Jenny Hernandez Cortez. Trinidad and Tobago does not belong to South America that I know. It belongs to the Caribbean. Yes, exactly. Okay. No, not Panama either. Come on. They're starting to say stupid shit. Not Guatemala, El Salvador, not Canada. Let's start saying all South America. Okay, let's take it all. We'll take it all. We'll take the whole North American continent, but of course, South American part, I mean, it's the blessed land, beautiful land. Okay. But either way, Okay, so then we'll have the whole continent, and that's it. That way, no one leaves. That way, no one gets upset. And then Spain also will take. But of course, you have to free the whole world. To free the whole world, let's start one place. Let's start where the picture says here, the southern part, and we'll advance from there. The whole world. Do you think we're gonna have just the southern part? No. When they took it up, they took everything. So they have to take over everything. If we don't take over everything, then it stays belonging to the beast. We have to take it over, not ever with the Brazilian flag. Never ever. One, because it's verde, amarela, green, and yellow. Who the fuck can choose such colors? Another, it's got the globe. No, I mean, absolutely not. We have an even better flags with the sun. Just imagine, it says I saw a vision. Just imagine, I saw a vision, and I saw a great sun in heaven. A woman clothed with a green and yellow globe. What? And be like, what? Just imagine the prophecy. I would say that's false. False prophet, false book. I'd read something else. Says, and I saw a woman clothed in a flag of white and red stripes. No, false. Also, I saw a flag in a tricolor. It says green, white, and red. I said false. That was a dog shit book. The only true book is this. I saw a woman clothed with the sun. Oh, how beautiful. What a rest to my soul. Thank you, Lord, for making me an Argentinian. And I mean, I'm just playing. And you too, be thankful every day that I made you Argentinian. Fall on your knees. Thank you, Lord, for getting me out of Brazil. I mean, of Brazil, of all those fourth class countries, making me an Argentina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alleluia, alleluia, for clothing me with the sun. Alleluia. Okay, I'll move on here. Move on. Let's advance in something today. We'll advance in something today. Very well. Isaiah 66, I was going to read the text. I was with ecstasy watching the picture, the precious picture in the invitation and the video. These two serpents, which are serpents spectaculars with a flat earth. And the text of the invitation says Isaiah 66:8. New Spanish Bible. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Magnificent. People read Zion and they think it's Jerusalem. No, it is concealed. When he's going to call Zion, it is the city of the peace, the city of justice, the city of Yahweh. Today's Jerusalem is that of prostitution of the beast, a complete dog shit, a real bitch. That's what you can call her, a prostitute that lays with all the governors of the earth. That is what the scripture of Babylon says. So then, when it talks about Zion, it doesn't talk about Zion that we know. It talks about a new Zion, which can only be done and be founded by a new people. That's why it says a new country begotten in one day that's never been born or is bring forth in one day. But if the Israelites across the Red Sea and all the rest, no, it's not talking about that. And there's no need for them to be begotten. They've already been begotten. They've been begotten. 6 million have died already, like I've already told you. 6 million less, and blah, blah, blah. They've already died, and they are a part of the signs that they are allowed to do. It's a 6 million here. We got to the moon, and we've got the atomic bombs. They're all true. And because they'll take my video that we got to the moon. The atomic bombs exist, and also the little bugs that are going around exist, and also the 6 million in the Holocaust. It's all true. It is true, and it all belongs to the true religion. Very well. Today I am a bit, how can I say, That's the way I like. I mean, I don't want to give the words because you're gonna notice. Okay, whatever. I mean, I'm talking with myself. Today, I'm just having fun. I'm in a fun mode, and ironical. Two things. Okay, it's not talking about Israel that it's already been begotten. It's not talking about that country, and it's not talking about Zion. What is Yahweh talking about? And precisely, it's talking about this in the end of times. At the end of times is the last chapter of Isaiah. It ends up saying that Yahweh was going to be a new heaven and a new earth. So, wow, who is this country? Who is this nation that will be begotten in one sole day? Which it's already been. And that it is only an entire people. And it says that as soon as it felt the pains, well, in the previous text it said that before having the pains of travailing, she had already given birth. That is more than clear because the travailing pains came in what year? 2019. You already know there's the pains of travailing 2019, the wine cup of 2019. So when should the people be begotten? Before that. Before that. In 2018. And with what? With the purification of the temple. Everything takes off in these 1260 days. It is that people that's been begotten is the man child. It is just so marvelous. I mean, in case I'll explain to you in case you didn't notice, it says that the woman gave birth to a man child. That man child is not a son, but it's a people. And the text says, I mean, it's just so marvelous. What time is it? I already want to stop. What we're gonna eat, Ale, because today, Ale promised today that he was gonna bring chicken, butter chicken, butter chicken or chicken a la butter, Mediterranean, Italian. That's how he speaks Spanish. Our friend Ale. What did you say? Kind of Italian, Medi something. Okay, that's what we're eating. Chicken a la butter style Italian. Okay, I'll tell you whether it was good or not. At least we're gonna have something which is rice that Leslie's gonna make, and we'll save it with that. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. We always make some rice just in case. Make some rice in case we can get filled up with rice in case something fails. Sometimes things fail, and Leslie's rice is spectacular. Or is it not? Or am I saying stupid shit here? So then, since it's spectacular, it saves anything. I have faith. I have faith in this young man. I have faith in Ale that chicken a la butter will be great. I have faith in you. Okay, I have faith. I put all my faith. I taught Ale to make pizza, and he makes good. I mean, he makes pizzas that are phenomenal if he learned from the master, right? He learned something. And the other day, he brought me this pot, and in it he had some cookies, or I don't know what they call it, little cookies, right? Or biscuits. Very, very good ones. Very good ones. He brought me ones that had kind of like a white chocolate and cinnamon, and the other ones that had chocolate. I personally, the black chocolates in cookies, I don't like them. I mean, I like chocolate, not so much I like them, but in cookies, not especially. But the other ones, it's not my saint of my devotion. But the other ones he made, I really congratulated him. The white ones with cinnamon, it was white chocolate, something like that. Those were spectacular, spectacular. So then sometimes Ale brings one that it's a hit or miss with him. So then I'm gonna really play all my chips that it's gonna be a good chicken today. Since I'm already hungry, I'm about to leave you. So then it's 2 hours 37. I'll talk to you enough today. Okay, it says here. I've already explained to you the son, the people that will be born is the man child. You already know everything. When was he born? He was born precisely in 2018. That's where he's born. He's born, and the woman enters into the purification of having given birth precisely before the world going into the pains of travail. we saved ourselves because we knew about the new Germanic medicine. We saved ourselves of what was going to happen. So then, here again, the text: "Who hath heard such a thing?" He says, "This has never been heard. What will happen, or what has already happened, but what's coming, because we're in the fulfillment of the prophecy itself. What's going to happen and what's going to happen later has never been heard before. Who has heard such a thing? It cannot be heard because it's never existed. Or who had seen such things? No one in the world has ever seen what's going to happen. That man-child will rule with an iron rod the nations." That's never been seen before. That's why the people are so desperate. That's why the people are against what's happening. They feel that they cannot fight and we're all lost and that the human race will disappear. No, it's not going to disappear. Absolutely, it will not disappear. Continue to fight. Continue to fight. Continue to battle. Do your work because the Messiah is coming. That is the man-child. But who hath heard such a thing? Or who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? That is the man-child. Or in one day shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Well, we are in this prophecy, spectacular rather. And the first text says, as follows: Isaiah 66:1 says, "Yahweh saith as follows: Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where? Wherefore is the house that ye build unto me? And wherefore is the place of my rest?" The question that no one understands, this question, and everyone understands it in whatever which way they want, but it's misunderstood. It's concealed. Yahweh asks a question in the final times, because this is from the final times, and I'll demonstrate it when we get there. I would have to demonstrate it now in the final time. Just hold on a minute. Let us go to just one sole text. For example, let us read number 16 of this chapter. It says, "For Yahweh will judge with fire and with a sword every man." How many men will he judge? All men. Has that happened up until now? No, it hasn't. So then this prophecy was for the time of Israel? No, of course not. This prophecy was 2,000 years ago with Yeshua. Now, this prophecy is the last prophecy of Isaiah, and so impressive a prophecy with which this history ends. "For Yahweh will judge with fire and his sword to every man, and they shall be many the slain of the Lord." In the Spanish DHH, it says, yes, the Lord will make the judgment with fire. He will judge the whole world with his sword and will kill many. Spectacular, absolutely spectacular. And that, okay, I shouldn't say anything. Number 18. "For I know their works, saith Yahweh. I know their works and their thoughts." I'll read them in Spanish as false thoughts because of the way the word is made in Spanish. It says, "It shall come that it will gather a magnificent. Some will sleep for 1,000 years, others won't. The time will come to gather all the nations." How many? How many nations? All the nations that have ever existed. All the nations. "And tongues, all the tongues, all of them, even from the most Indian that you can't even understand them. Some understand between the grandmother and the mother and the son. It's so many languages that they have in Guatemala, and they only understand each other. There are some little sects like that. How many tongues are there in Guatemala? Just imagine 93. He said from the ones that you know, and the ones that I speak with, only the father, the grandmother, and the grandchild understand each other. And it says, all the tongues and nations shall come. How 23? 93. And interesting. And it says, "And the time shall come, and shall gather all the nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory." How spectacular. Absolutely. All human beings, those whom we consider to be evil, wicked, accursed, and good, ignorant, and Indians, and slaves, and everyone, will all come, and they shall see the glory of Yahweh. Wow. How marvelous. "And I will set," and I'm not studying this, I'm just telling it to you just to place you where this prophecy takes place in the end. "And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations. But I mean, it's difficult to understand that version. Let us go to the Torres Amat. In the Torres Amat, Isaiah 66:19, Torres Amat says, "And I will set a sign among them, among whom, among all the peoples, a sign of health." Wow, wow, a sign of health. Spectacular. You know, which is the sign. His wife is, and those whom are saved unto the nations, the other part of the sea, to Africa, to Lydia, are just countries that have never even been heard of. Italy, Greece, and the most remote islands, to people that have never have heard spoken of me, nor have seen my glory. And these God sent will teach unto the people my glory. Wow, absolutely magnificent. A sign of health, just as the Argentinian hymn, national anthem says, they all respond to the great Argentinian people in health, of the great people of the Messiah in health. Health. We don't know what health, they're going to know what health is. Life. People that haven't even heard about Yahweh. And they say, I'll read it. Should I read this or not? Well, I mean, it's good. Well, I'll read to you just like that. Either way, we'll study it later. And they shall all bring your brethren. Of course, they're brethren because all the human race are brethren. Your brethren for an offering unto all the nations as an offering unto Yahweh. An offering is like to offer him with all as rescued in horses. I mean, the symbolic language, in horses and chariots and in litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts, unto my holy mountain of Jerusalem, the one in Israel. No, the one that is in the picture. The one that is in the picture of the invitation. Unto my holy mountain of Jerusalem, says Yahweh. Just as that they have brought in the vessels unto the house of Yahweh, though that brought offerings unto the house of Yahweh, was just a representation of when we would bring all the people to gather together before Yahweh. It's the most magnificent in this prophecy, the final prophecy. It says, and even I will take of them priests and Kohanim, that is, intercessors that work for me, for you, and Levites among them. Those people that have never heard of me, just imagine. Obviously, I'll read it to you later. 22. Just so that you see that this prophecy was never fulfilled before. 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. 23. And it shall come to pass that from month to month, from new moon to new moon, and from day of rest, from Shabbat to another, shall all flesh, how many? All flesh. How many is all flesh? All flesh is all flesh. All those who accept Jesus Christ in the cross. No, all those, everyone. All flesh is all one. Everyone. And Ellen G. White will also agree, and Trump as well, and Biden as well, and Putin as well. Everyone. And the first, second, and third also, everyone is everyone. They shall all come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. And that is to worship people. Imagine that all the world come to worship and they get lay prostrate. No, that's not the adoration that Yahweh looks for. What he looks for is that he's going to be so admired that even just by seeing him, they're going to say, wow, just like the Argentinian selection, just by seeing them. That is worship. That is the worship that Yahweh looks for. The people imagine that they have to go and lay on their face, say, I'm a sinner. No, the people are going to come because they're going to want to see him. They're going to want to, and I'm not going to explain anything because we're not explaining anything today. I'm just reading, and from month to month, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses, all speaking in the symbolic language. I'll explain it later. The carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Perfect. Hallucinating. Now you see this prophecy, it transcends even Shabbat. It transcends into the seventh millennium. It transcends eternity, this prophecy does. So then, Yeah, we have to study it very carefully because it's not a prophecy that is just like that, lightly, like any other. It's a prophecy that begins with that a people is begotten, a nation is begotten unto eternity. Notice that, first of all, in the whole world, not the idiot Jews, but the entire world, Yahweh saith thus follow, the world, the heaven is my throne, perfect. I own heaven and I sit on it, and the earth is my footstool. It's a place where I put my feet. Where? Wherefore is the house that ye shall build unto me, and wherefore is the place of mine rest? It is a matrimonial language. He says, where? Where is the body in which I will find rest? This language, even the Jews tell you it's a language. It would seem like matrimonial. It says, where is my beloved bride, in which in her body I can find peace? That with her presence it can be one and find happiness, because you evidently are not talking to Israel, right? Israel was there in already been born and already made a whore. And the temple of Israel was there, built by Solomon and all that shit. And of course, it was complete dog shit, that temple in Jerusalem. It's all dog shit. It was completely something nefarious. That's why Yahweh asks. They hadn't built it with Nebuchadnezzar. It's very important to understand that. When Isaiah writes this so that the people of Israel understand that the temple is standing, once we understand this, we understand that not in that temple or anything, but it's talking about where is the group in which I will, from where I will rule everything. Where is that group of the children of Elohim which will inherit the earth? Which is it? Which is it? It says everything is mine. The people are my footstool. Where is the house? Where is that people? Where is that temple that ye shall build unto me? Where will I find rest? These is a question that Yahweh knows the answer perfectly well. It's just so that we understand it. My hand made all the things. And that people that is born in one day, that's the answer. It says, where is the people in which I find rest? Which is it? Which is it? Where are my children? In which I will inherit them all. The judges that will inherit everything. He says, all those, I will make them be born in one day. It's something that nobody has seen, that no one has even heard. That is the people that I'm talking about. Now you understand it. Under this question, where is, he'll answer to you, because no one knows where the fuck it is. Only he does. That's the only temple you have. That is the temple. Look at that temple. What a beauty. And he looked at him saying, what? Those sons of bitches. I mean, they're really pieces of shit. 3 years with me, you haven't learned shit. You're all dog shit. Was like, oh, the best one. At least he did something well. And that now I have to impress it. I have to go and say the devil went in him. But you, these 11 left, what sons of bitches are you? They have me. They're blind. They're sons of bitches. So then right now I'm going to decide that most of you will be assassinated. When I see it, an opportune thing, it's just like my cousin, son of a bitch. Who? Yeah, my cousin, son of a bitch. And they spoke to me, it was going to come, and so, what a son of a bitch, didn't follow me. My cousin didn't follow me. Cut his head off. Who? John the Baptist. Cut his head off. Off with his head. What about us? Crucified this guy. The other one, cut his head off too. Another one, just let him be pierced in half. And you, I loved it. Well, I'll leave you. You that loved me a lot, I'll leave you in some island. I don't know if you're going to die of age without any women or anything. I mean, they're all going to suffer because you're all sons of bitches, because you're showing me the temple. What sons of bitches showing me the temple? You really are Jews. Look, master, the temple. What temple? What a dog shit temple. You didn't hear what I said. Your house is left desolate. You didn't hear that? You know what? I'm going to say something else today. That son of a bitch temple, no stone will be left upon another. But I said because of you, I was going to leave it there, semi-destroy. But now, no stone will be left upon another because of you, sons of bitches. You have me. You have me. They ask me. They ask me because of the temple. Where is my true temple? Who is the one that appreciates me, that loves me? Who is it? There's no one. Then I will make a nation be born in one day that no one has ever seen. But there's not the Catholics or the Christians, no the Adventists that come and say, and in tradition, none of that. I don't want none of that. I want a new people. What? A new people. A new religion. I want a new form of thinking. That is what I want. But no one has ever seen that. No, nobody has seen. Nobody has heard that. No, nobody has heard that. No one. I will make it new. That is the people of the sons of Elohim. That is the so marvelous a prophecy that we're studying. I'll leave it at that. We'll continue to study it later. I mean, it's just so marvelous. You already know this, but I have fun speaking about this because we really are waiting for this time. Waiting for it. We didn't come from traditions. That's why we've sent all the traditions to fuck off. That's what I'm saying. It's all dog shit. We don't come from, if we were to drag something from the churches, it's dog shit. Yahweh creates a new people, a new people. He makes a new nation be created, a new religion. That's why it'll be a new Jerusalem. That's why it'll be a new Zion. That's why it'll be a new place, not in that old fourth class Jerusalem, that dog shit place in Jerusalem. No, a new people, a new place, a new religion, a new understanding, new wisdom, something that no one has ever seen, that no one has ever heard. That is the message of Isaiah 66. It is absolutely marvelous, and it transcends to eternity. It transcends until everyone, all the human beings of all the nations, of all the peoples, come to worship Yahweh. And Yahweh is Yahweh and the wife. And they come due to the joy, not because of a false commandment. They come due to joy because they already see the bride of Yahweh. Is to see her, is to see now in a very multiplied millions and millions. It's like to try to see an idol of yours, Messi, or whatever idol you want to see, more than an idol. Just people that you admire a lot, just to see those people, for them to say hi, for them to say, hey, can you invite me to eat at your house? Wow, people will die right there. If Messi calls them and says, or whomever of the selection says, hey, can you invite me to your house? Argentinians would die. Yes, of course, come. What an honor. That is the type of worship. Just imagine, how are they going to worship Yahweh and his bride? All the peoples. For them to see them, for them to say hi, for them to be known by name. But of course, we're going to know them all by name. We're going to fix all the problems of the world here. That is what's marvelous. And that is what we were called for. We were begotten for that. That is what we were born in a day to fulfill this prophecy. Phenomenally, that soon we shall see it with our eyes. Without any further ado, let us wrap up with a word prayer. Beloved Yeshua, we are ready. We are very excited, and we have lots of a desire of beginning this final process. We desire for you to give us your wings of the great eagle. We desire that you endue us with what we need, that we can found a nation, a visible one, because the one that you have is the eternal truth. And we desire a place to start to reign, so that we can also win and conquer the entire earth, because it's ours. For you have inherited us and given to us as inheritance. You promised that for us, and we know that soon it'll be fulfilled. All this we thank you for in your precious name of the only Elohim creator that exists. which art thou, Yahweh, and we your children. Alleluia. Semper Fi. Semper Fi to each and every one of you. The Argentum wife live. Alleluia. Long live the sons and daughters of Elohim. I promise that next Shabbat we'll advance a little more in the message. But actually, I have fun talking about these words because they are necessary for you, for me also, and to excite you so that this is soon to end. This all has been visible. It'll be visible. So then, Alleluia to every one of you. If the Lord allows it, we shall meet again next Shabbat with part 17 and part of Bethuwlah 9, and it'll be our anniversary. I'll stop it short also, but we'll try to advance. Alleluia, and greetings to every one of you. Long live the sons and daughters of Elohim.